old boy always told me to listen with the intent to understand it rather than respond. A lot of decisions be made based on us. You feel me?
See, you sound like you taking accountability, but I mean,
I'm gonna
now,
do that school. You feel me? They can't. They once we turn 18. For a man, I don't know about a woman, but for a man, we begin to make our own decisions. You feel me?
okay,
And if I
okay,
can
you
coach
absolutely
anybody
right.
on your panel, if you got a son, my nigga, you just gotta be there. If you got a daughter, you gotta show up on every event. You feel me? It just take. I got a lot of young niggas that look up to it, nigga. You feel me? So just be there when these young niggas ask you to attend them events. Pull up. When them boys, you see they scuffling in your neighborhood, get them a pair of forces or something. It won't break you. And if you can't do it by yourself, ask all them niggas you drink with, all them niggas you smoke with. Build your community. You feel me?
I
That's
appreciate that, brother.
yeah.
But you sound knowledgeable, right? Let
I'm a
answer me
street nigga,
this.
school. I'm on the corner right now. Am I right? I know something though.
I
I
salute you,
know
but I
something
want to
though.
ask you something. So, what about the kids, right? When you trying to help them, like you say, get your guys, and then you try to help them, and they ain't listening to you. How you dealing with them, brother?
Okay, school. Okay, for my opinion on that. I see your inbox of a video. I lost
Okay.
three of my homeboys right there. You see these two poles?
Yeah.
I lost three of my homeboys in 30 seconds.
Damn,
They
bro.
had brothers. They had little brothers, you feel me? Uh, I took them little niggas to a program way in Nebraska. We from Florida. You feel me? I
Okay.
used all the resources I had to get them little niggas out of this situation.
Okay.
If they want it, they gonna do it. If they don't, they ain't doing it. You feel me? I tell niggas every day, like, it ain't they can't hear you though. You gotta make them feel you. See, I don't feel like I'm bigger than nobody. I ain't gonna never tell a little nigga what he can't do. You feel me? Because a lot of them, they gonna try regardless, fam. You feel me? So you gotta guide them the
like
right
you,
way.
brother. I like you, brother. I just followed you, man. Come on.
For
Tell me
sure,
some more, man. Come on.
you gotta guide them the right way. You feel me? You gotta. I don't want to be. I
Hey,
don't want to sound
porcelain,
like a nigga
appreciate you.
preaching, but you gotta tell these young niggas, man. Hey, man, them crackers gonna give you 40 if you drop that ball over there. Them crackers gonna put you here if you send it up. The graveyard is
Greetings,
real.
everyone.
You feel me? That bitch is real, school. You feel me? And from my experience, my old girl and my old boy them got good collegiate friends. You feel me? So I do know people in the college world. I do know people in the streets. You feel me? So I tried to show them niggas, okay, cool. I know this side of the town too. Let's go over here. A year later, them niggas bite. They don't want the 500,000. They don't want the school, and they ain't want it. They want to do this.
Yes,
This is
greetings,
working now.
everyone.
I don't want to wait till later. They won't work now. You feel me? I'm kind of a person who surpassed a lot in my neighborhood. So the police see me, they not gonna instantly blitz me. They gonna come and talk respectable. Cause I done sued them before and I done won. Real street niggas don't do that. They don't win. I won. I'ma fight you. If I got to go in there and lay down, I'ma fight you. I'm gonna meet you at trial with polo shorts on and Gucci sneakers. I'm gonna meet you there. I won. So my community, little niggas come back like, yeah, I want to be like that. I
Right.
get it. I get it. In every black community that's in the hood where shootings occurring, we need to teach everybody how to save $1,000. Everybody got to get because it's so hard to save $1,000 in poverty. They come through the neighborhood, throw the basketball events and throw the hot dog stands and all that. That's bullshit. Get the fuck on. I don't want to keep hearing that. I want to hear financial literacy for my youngin. My children know that. I feel like my homeboy children need to know that. You feel me? We don't need that handout. We need that blessing. Go and bless us with these dollars. Turn us up. Get us out these situations. Florida got a thing with everybody can have a weapon. That's great. But these young niggas got 30s. You feel me? So, like, what they got to figure out what they trying to push, fam. This shit out of control, fam. You feel
I,
me?
I appreciate you, brother. Transparency and keeping it real.
For
And
sure.
you put that camera on and let us see that Florida. You dig?
Oh, yeah, for sure. You know what's going on, school. You feel me?
Hey, yeah, that's tapped in the right way. Let me try to get somebody else in, brother, to
For
see
sure that. For
see if
sure
they
that.
want to speak, man. You know we appreciate you, brother. Try to stay with us. If you got the lead, then just bounce back. We're gonna let you right back in, brother. Appreciate you, Luke. Stack, Princess, you guys want to speak? Dot Liney, yo, you want
Yeah, I
to?
think we failed them as a community, as a village. I think
Come
it's
on, Stack,
systemic.
talk to us. Talk
It's
to me,
not just
Stack.
one layer, it's like multiple layers and shit. So I think, yeah, we failed them. And a lot of people gave up on them because, they kind of wild and all that. But it's a way you can reach them, though. You know the work I do.
I
I ain't
know that's
never
what I
gonna
was
give
gonna
up on.
say,
I ain't
Stack.
never.
You out there trying to reinvent
Yeah,
the wheel
I
back
ain't
in.
never get. I ain't never giving up on our shorties because I used to beat them. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never giving up on our
Yeah.
shorties, but as a community, we felt them.
Okay.
I think
Okay.
the fathers that dipped out on their kids and that's going to the clubs and all that, don't spend time with their kids, and the mamas that contributed to not raising them as men and whatever reason they got, but I think it's a collective of
It's
how
a
we
fact.
felt them, especially the fathers that dipped out on their kids. Man, I don't appreciate like if I know a dude and he not taking kids, man, lose my number, bro, because we not aligned the same. Cause I can't deal with somebody that's not taking care of their responsibilities as a man and helping raise the babies and helping raise their kids, especially you gonna abandon your son. If you gonna abandon your daughter or your son, what the hell you gonna do to me? So I don't trust you.
Stack, you sound like you with the kids right now.
In the park right now.
That's what's up, Stack. That's what's up. Keeping it real. Come on, Princess, talk to us. You there, sister?
I'm here. I think it does fall into a community thing. I also feel like it comes into a systematic thing. From personal experience, um, my mom was very bitter. She put me up in foster care when I was a little baby, and I stayed in foster care till I was 20, and I'm 22. So
Wow.
going through different foster homes every so often, it comes down to people get failed all the time. It's a generational thing. I also look at it as like maybe her mom wasn't there, like my grandmother maybe wasn't there, so I feel like they try to continue that pattern in a sense.
How you doing, sister? How you get to where you at today? I mean, I don't know you. I don't know your personal business, but how you doing?
I'm
Just
doing good. Like
all right, all right.
I'm I'm grateful for what I went through because at the end of the day, like I know I'm gonna be out stronger.
Wow, wow. I appreciate you, sister, for being transparent. Come on, talk to us, because that's a lot. A lot of people not able to even reflect on certain things they've been through. So for you to be able to go through that and say what you just said, that's a lot. Somebody could be listening, to you and you helping them go through whatever they may be going through. So that's a salute, princess. That's a salute. Hey, Shakira, how you doing? Dalani, you want to speak, and then we'll bring it over to Nene. You there, Dot?
Yeah, I'm with you. I'm always with you. I believe it's on the parents. And this is coming from like the aspect of, what I do for work and being at the schools. A lot of times I have to go up there and I see that kids, 11, 10, 12, young middle school age kids, and they're cussing the teachers out. They're smacking the teachers. They're hitting the teachers. They're
How
telling the
old?
teachers
How
what they
old would
won't
you?
do.
How
They're in the
old?
bathrooms taking pictures, not being in class, roaming the halls, starting
How old
fights.
would you say they are? How old is they?
Like from where I'm starting to get called to the schools is like from 10 to 13 years old in the middle school age. I'm talking about sixth, seventh, and eighth graders. That's when we start to get called. The elementary school kids, they're not that bad. They're not that influenced yet. But once you get to the middle school age, it's like something happens to them. Like those are the most pivotal years that you could teach your child respect. But you can't teach them respect if you're too busy trying to be their friend. And that's what I run into a lot. You trying to be their friend. You sitting there, treating them like they 18, 19, 20, 20 20-year-olds, 30-year-olds. They're not. They're 10, 11, and 12. Let them be kids. They still need to be able to fear the person who is the parent. And they're not, because you're making them a friend. And the problem with that is when it's time to discipline them, when they're at school telling them, well, my mama don't even do this to me. My mama don't even, I don't even know who my daddy is, and just talking like that. I feel so bad because it's just like, man, it's no way, that I can fix this, can I? Tell me what do I do? I join a PTA. I'm an active parent in my own kids' life. I take my kids and their friends out to parks. I take them to work out with me. I take them out so they can experience things. But their parents, they don't care. They're out and about. They don't care what I do with them kids. As long as
Why,
that
why
they're not
you
in their house. And that's
why you have
crazy.
why you haven't gave up on them and you keep fighting to see something better? Why
I
you
keep,
giving up?
because a lot of them are smart. It's crazy, but they don't have anybody there to lead them, and that's the problem. They don't have anybody there. I'll take some of my kids' friends to church with me. It's nobody leading them. Some of them are growing up in homes where, yeah, it's a single parent, or they're in the house with their grandma, or they staying at the house with their auntie. I don't know what to do, but I'm sitting here fighting the uphill battle, whether it's PTA, whether it's the social work that I'm doing, or whether it's just as a parent to my own kids trying to, keep their friends out of just falling into the trap of being sent to the school that is, ultimately the held back school, the
So
school that we send all the kids that get in trouble to. And
do
that's
you
just
see,
like the no results school. That's what I call it, really.
do you see a change when you like take them to that park and you take them to that church? Do you see a change?
I
Even
do. I see them opening up when I play Scrabble with them. I see them changing when I play, travel games in the car with them, when I'm giving them math problems and what would we do if we do this. When I do different things with them, I just see them open up and show their true selves, their true, just innocent selves without all of what's going on the outside and the TikTok and the universe and the Glorilla and just everything that is going on around them. I see them open up and glow and look brighter and be respectful because they know I don't deal with certain stuff. So they know when they with me, yes, ma'am, because I'm not gonna have you around me and you being disrespectful to an adult or to any adult that we come across.
man, I appreciate that, sister. We want to let Nene, you there? Want to
Yes,
speak?
sir. Yes, sir.
Come on, speak
So
to us. Man.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I appreciate you bringing me up on the panel. I love everything that everybody just said, and I think this is a very deep layered topic. Like I don't think you can even attack this on the surface level,
No,
type of deal. And like what everybody just said just now, I do think, and I've been saying this for a while because I lost my virginity at 11. Like I got pewed at 16. I got poked at 15. And I had both my parents. So what Luke was saying first, the first guy that you allowed to talk, he kind of spoke more towards the accountability part of it that I like, but I also like what Delani just said before. Like when we start talking about middle school kids, I don't think a lot of people understand that difference between once you hit elementary school and then when you get to that middle school. I don't think a lot of people kind of get that's especially for young men. That's when you start to really smell yourself. That's when you really start to kind of at that point puberty start to hit, you want to go do these certain things or whatever the case may be. And as much as I do want to put it on the parents, I do think at some point we do have to hold each other accountable, as in personally. Because like I said, I had both my parents, my mom and my dad, and I still went out, started gang banging, started selling letters, started doing my own little thing. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm in the military now, and I deal with these 17 and 18-year olds on a daily basis that want to join,
hold on, hold
where
on,
it's
hold on.
kind of like,
Hold on, young brother. What? Let me ask you a question, man. You just said that you did have both your parents, but you still went that other route. Well, where you get this accountability from, and what made you go to that other route? What influenced you to go that other route, and where you find this accountability at, young blood? I need you to speak to that.
oh, without giving too many details, so
Okay.
pretty much
Okay.
without going too far into it,
Okay. Okay.
I thought I had a baby on the way when I was 16, my junior to senior year in high school. So, I tried to, what's the word I'm looking for? I pretty much tried to. I had to grow up. Like like I said, I thought Shorty was pregnant. I thought Shorty had my kids. So, I was working two jobs. I had to stop going to school. I ain't stopped going to school, but I had to stop playing sports, things of that nature. And when I got pew that summer, I don't think people understand, but like once it becomes news, your kid will get kicked out of school. And they tried to do that to me my senior year of high school because at that point I forgot what they call it, but you pretty much bring too much attention to the school. So when the college coaches started to get word of that, yo, they pulled scholarships. They was coming to my school trying to question me every day, things of that nature. Mind you, I'm thinking I got a baby on the way. My dad was, he was real disappointed in me because he had me very young. So, just things of that nature, it made me grow up very fast. So instead of, I'm working two jobs as a senior in high school, I'm like, bro, I need a career. I got a baby on the way. Like
Right.
I'm not finna shy away from my responsibilities. By the time I found out that the baby wasn't mine, I was supposed to go to basic a week later. I wasn't about to shy away from it, so I just went ahead and left, and I'm here 10 years later. But at the
Right.
same time, as I'm dealing with the relationships I'm having with women, the money issues, which is the financial literacy that Luke was talking about earlier, these are conversations that I didn't have with older men in my generation. I didn't have these conversations about this stuff. So the first thing I bought when I got in the military was some grills because I never had it when I was younger. Then I got the all white Air Forces. I'm spending thousands of dollars just to keep up with the Joneses, just so that I can get women in my life, things of that nature. So I do think that we do have to have, a sense of accountability as per se for myself. Because I look at it now, 10 years later, like, bro, I did not have to do any of that because my dad would tell me not to, and I still made my own decisions. Like, these are just things that I done grew up and understood. But when it comes down to these kids, bro, I remember I just asked a shorty, probably one of these applicants that came in 17. I was like, yo, you got your social security card? She was like, you talking about my social, like my IG? I'm like, no, I'm not talking about that. Like at some point, I do think these kids, whether they're getting taught by, it all starts at home. And if you're not doing your part as a parent, it's going to show. It's gonna show. Like we gotta the school system, I understand, but it starts at home. And even then, and I'm gonna land it with this. Even with everything that I just told you, I never missed the honor roll. I always made the honor roll. Yes, sir, no, sir. Yes, ma'am, no, ma'am. Always was instilled with certain values and principles that my parents put into me, which is why it wasn't a hard decision to make when I found out that Shorty was pregnant, that it was, yo, it's go time. It's go time. It ain't no, it ain't none of that. So I do think it starts at home, man. It starts at home. And whatever you see out here in the world, it's predicated off of their parents. So I landed with that.
Thank you, young brother. And I want to say that everybody really is coming through real powerful. And I appreciate you guys being transparent because a lot of these questions general, but sometimes we can't do nothing but go off our anecdotal experience, our personal experience, man. Y'all really coming with it. Hey, Miss Shakira, I know you probably busy, but can you come in and speak for a minute, or you run? I know you be running around in the streets. Come on. Hey,
Hey, how's
hey.
everyone?
All right. How you doing?
I'm good, I'm good. I do believe it starts at home. Everything starts at home. From beginning to end, everything starts at home. I believe that, a lot of the values that we had when we were younger is not taken nowadays.
Who is
We
that?
don't like the sitting down at dinner time with the TV off at the table.
That's you. Hold on,
Everybody, and that
hold on,
means
brother.
that
We're
the
gonna come
women
down there in a minute. Hold on, brother. We're gonna come to you in like three more people, brother. We're gonna give you a chance to speak. Come on, sister.
um Sitting at home, when it's dinner time at the table with the TV off, having dinner with your children. At the time, at that time there was no phones, so even you have to turn your kids' phones off, put them somewhere while you have dinner. Still sit
Right,
down and have those talks with them.
right.
Ask them how their day was, because they can have a hard day too. But we don't. But this generation no longer do that anymore. We no longer sit down and talk to our children and ask them, "Hey, how is your mental? How are you doing today?" Because they deserve a day off too. Just like we say we need a mental day, they deserve a mental day as well. I believe, holding them accountable for the things that they do. They just didn't go to school and decide to misbehave. They started misbehaving at home. and you didn't do nothing about it. They didn't just decide to go out in the community and to go pew pew up the movie theater. Absolutely not. That mess starts at home. These kids listen to everything you say, whether or not you paying attention to them, they're paying attention to you.
So Miss Shakira, can I ask you a question? A young lady spoke maybe a few people ago, and she said that her mom gave up to the FC system, the foster care system, when she was younger. What about, and it's a lot of kids that go through that. What about those kids? What about those kids? How do we help, circumvent those type of circumstances?
I think that as sometimes parents do things what they do things is what they see fit as for their children. And maybe her mom or her parents thought that was best at that time for them. Because if you can't take care of your child while when they little, what are you supposed to do?
Right.
It's better than them, putting them in harm's way, getting them to the system. They figure that they'll be better off. So I can't really speak on that part because I didn't do that. But thank the Lord that I had a tribe behind me to help me a little bit. And I have a friend who grew up in the system as well. And it got at one point she was like 19 and she had a curfew. She had to be at home. Well, I told her to come and stay with me and my husband. Come on. I got you. You don't gotta live in this. You don't have to
You open
be
you,
in this
you open
system.
your doors for her?
Yes, I did. I opened up my doors for her. I was like, come on.
Thank you,
You don't,
sir.
you know, we was and how I met her was at a community college, and we became friends. Just by being in the same class. And she told me, and I was like, dang. So I opened up my door, like, come on, you don't gotta stay there no more. Come on, I got you. We're gonna make this happen. You don't. And for her, and I did that because just for her to go to college, knowing that she grew up in the system, and for her to go to college and continue to live her life, I had to, as a person, I had to. So.
Wow. That's y'all strong. I appreciate that transparency. You already know. Miss Pickme, you there? Come on. You there? Are you moving around a little bit? Okay. Miss Westside, you want to speak? Talk to her.
Thanks for
Appreciate you
having
being
me.
patient and, just being here with us. Appreciate you.
Of of course, I felt like when was swiping through and I heard what a couple people said, I my story would be able to like alleviate some of that fault that parents hold, because main character syndrome tells us that we are the cause of everything, but in reality, you in all respectfully, you're not strong enough to be able to fail the children. You get me? Like that, no matter what, anything outside of them unaliving, they're gonna conform to what needs to be conformed.
We lost you, sister. I think you there, sister?
Say things.
We losing you, sister.
Me?
Yeah. Come on.
I'm
You
sorry. Can you
back.
hear me?
Yeah, we hear you. We hear you.
Yeah. I wanna say what I'm saying delicately because I don't want the elders to think that I'm disrespecting their wisdom and their knowledge and
We
that
want to hear
they
you. We listen to everybody. You can speak. You can speak.
times is changing. Like they've been doing it for a long time. They took cursive out of the schools. Like it's no more slow burn and passion behind anything. It's all quick processing and dopamine releases. These kids process at a capacity that we can't fathom right now. And the way that level of occupancy that they have is going to be important to the future. We can't fathom it right now. So we know to go in the store and you see somebody, you head nod to the other BLK man, respectfully, good morning, how you do? They don't understand those constructs. Not only did they have 19 to remove X amount of years away from, them being in touch with the world, like the world was desensitized and the attention span was shortened. But that's going to be a resource in the future that we just can't see yet. This AI, all of this is going to be different. And that be a side note, please have your kid do something AI based because that's where the money gonna be at. That's like us being at the beginning of Disney or iPhone, Sony. Get your pieces. But I was saying that to say like
That's powerful.
personally,
That's powerful. That's real powerful. It really is.
pers- I'm sorry. Is it messing up again?
No, you good. You good.
Okay, like last part and I'm done. But I'm from South Central LA and I had parents that were statistics, right? And they did the best of what they had, and I'm never knocking my parents for doing a hell of a job. But they did the best they could with what they had, right? And they instilled things in me. You know, you tell a kid something and you want these things to be remembered, yes, but the way I was like left to my own vices to self-regulate, I didn't get that, like to what Miss Shakira was speaking to. I didn't get that influence of what you don't know you teaching me. So I didn't pick up on no bad habits and character traits. You didn't get to influence me negatively because you didn't influence me at all. Kids are gonna bounce and do what they need to do to fit. And it's just like sometimes we got to be okay with just supporting that instead of trying to direct that and guide that, because all you know is what you know. You know, I'm sorry if I was like,
Nah, you good, sister. You going to speak. That's
What
powerful.
she's saying, is true though. That brother spoke on something that was really it hit home for me because when I started doing, I had to reflect on my own childhood. I had two parents in my household too. I had a stepfather because my mother she got married to my stepfather when I was like 7 maybe, but it was dysfunctional though. It was a dysfunctional household, and so what I realized when I got older was that raising young boys and young girls is two different things, right? So raising young boys, I think raising young girls is more complex. But raising boys is like that young brother say he was in the military, he hit it on the nose when he said when you reach to middle school, that's where it really kicks in because I remember at 12 going to 13, I remember this like when I got older, I had to do the retrospect. So when I was around that age, boys start shifting when they lose their innocence and they start looking in the mirror before they go outside. That's the shift
Wow.
because now you worry about how you look to girls. Before that, you still playing on the monkey bars, playing tag. You dirty. You have all this energy. Your sneakers is dirty. But once you shift into like middle school and you worry about the girls, you worry about how you looking. When you look in that mirror before you go outside, that's the shift. And then my mother wasn't giving me all the clothes I wanted to keep up with the Joneses. So I started doing what my cousins were doing. They was robbing. They used to come home with stacks of money, getting all kind of sneakers that was in style. And I wanted that because the girls was like, oh, you got on bummy holy shoes or your jeans was holy. When you see those YT kids, the little girls, they be liking Bobby because he's cute. They don't care about his holy bummy shoes or his sneakers. But in the BLK community, we be worried about the Jordans and all of that. So once you shift like that and you start worrying about how you look before you come outside, that's the issue right there. That's why in my some of my dreams is to get an academy school where you raise these boys outside of where they come from because you got to strip them of everything. You got to give them uniforms and you got to give them structure to keep them away. That's why I agree with those schools that have uniforms. So you don't got to be like worried about what the next person designing clothes somebody is wearing. So if you get that, you can eliminate a lot of peer pressure and you get to the core of what they want and you could get them, you could like kind of direct them into their future if you got some good teachers. Now the teachers and the parents, they work hand in hand. So when you got parents leaving these kids to raise themselves on the social media because they tired, and they start early while giving them devices to occupy their time, and it starts early. So the parents are tired from work and they don't really have the time to invest in training the kids. So they just give them internet, give them the TV, give them a device, and then that shift over to school. The teachers gave up because they're not looking for learning styles like kids. BLK boys learn differently. I know this for a fact. BLK boys are more visual and practical learners. Like you have to start figuring out ways to teach them things like on a practical level and let them just go through it, as opposed to like this. The school system is foul. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I wouldn't raise kids just sitting in the classroom all day while it's sunny outside. That's bad. You got to take them outside. You got to take them to experience. You can learn more from traveling than you learn in the classroom. You know what I'm saying? And so I like to teach kids outside. You keep them inside, especially BLK boys, man. We different, man. We very athletic, very intelligent. So you got to have a curriculum developed towards BLK boys. And I just know the difference. It's not, you can't just sit us in the classroom and give us stuff and expect us to regurgitate it. It's not like that. It's different for us.
So what I hear, I'm gonna be honest. Everybody here that's been speaking, I asked about how we felt in the children, and within y'all speaking to me about those things, you actually all are saying things that could help fix these situations if people really listening. I want to give them brother Loyalty a chance and Miss Rennie because we haven't heard from them. Come on, Loyalty, you want to speak? I appreciate your patience, brother. You there? Loyalty? Okay, they might be tapped out. Miss Rainey, you want to speak, sister?
Yes. So just to give some insight. So this is really what I do for a profession. So
Appreciate you, sister.
I ran an adolescent group home and I hate that I even have to say this, but biological females, for some years. And I'm also a therapist. So I did a lot of work with youth trying to understand kids that end up in foster systems, what exactly causes it. So I think there are a few things that have caused this. It's bigger than just the parents. I think the parents play a pivotal role in a child's life, but I also
Okay, I'm gonna let you come right back, brother. We listening to the sister. After the sister speak, I'm gonna bring you in, brother Lord. Come on, sister. No, I'm gonna bring you in, brother. Give us a few minutes. We gonna let the sister. Okay, give me a second, Lord. I'm gonna bring you right back, brother. Brother, 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 can you hear me? Brother, can you hear me, brother? Brother, go ahead, sister. Disconnect. Come back. Brother, come back. I'll bring you back up. I don't think you can hear me. Come on, sister.
but I believe so. The parents play a pivotal role in a child's life, but I think in working in my own personal experience with my children, on top of what I do for work, the system itself, the government, society, a lot of it plays a major role in why kids are failing today. A lot of the power has been stripped from the parents to be able to parent their children the way they see fit to ensure that their children are successful. Now, the prime example I'll give is my kids are older. So I have a 17 and an 18-year-old. My 17-year-old, when she was about 15, was going through like a real, like little crisis internally. And a lot of it I understood, but at the same time, like, because I come from the same experiences with like her dad and things like that, I didn't really understand it until I really sat down with her and got to the core of it. But she was going through phases of like, she took off like twice. And I remember saying to, the police, like, you need to bring her back to the house. And their response was like, we can't. Like, we can't physically do anything about it. If she wants to be out, like, that's not a crime. We can't stop her.
How old
And
was she right? How old was
she
she
was
right
15. She was 15. So she was somewhere where I knew she was safe. But the point was for me, like, as her mother, she needs to be home. And their position was, as long as she's safe, their rights, like, they can't do anything about it. They can't put their hands on her. They can't bring her back. Like, if she wants to be there, that's where she can be. So now, because of that, and me knowing I did behavior modification for years, so like, I knew how to play her game. You want to be out in the streets, you call me for food, you call me for clothes, the answer is no. Because adults figure things out for themselves. We feed ourselves, we clothe ourselves. So if you're hungry, you're going to have to figure this out. And eventually, she called me like, I don't even understand why I'm biting the hand that feeds me right now. And because I had to play hardball with her, it brought her home. And to me, it was like the fact that I had to go that route and deprive my child because the system won't help is a problem. And so right now she's fine. Right now we got her, whatever therapy she needed, things like that. However, I think the system plays a major role in what parents can and cannot do with their children to ensure that they're successful. And so they interfere quite often. So I think it plays, as someone who was fully involved in my kids' lives, and they still one of them still managed to have, her moments, and then working with adolescents where I was like, I'm trying to understand like what makes you take off and do the things that you do. I've had kids that I've encountered that I worked with when they were, 15, 16, seeing them at 22, 23 years old with their own children. Like, I don't even understand why I was doing that. Like, I had two supportive parents. I had a great household. Like, I don't know what I was doing. And a lot of it is the influence of society and them knowing they can. There's nothing we can do. Right. So that there's a few things I think that play into why kids are failing today. And a lot of it is that as parents, we can do everything in our power to raise them right, but they will choose ultimately what they want to do. And in making that choice, our hands are tied because society has made it that way. And so, yeah, I think there's a few things that need to change societally in order for us to gain control back of our children, to be able to raise them and do the things that we need to do as parents to ensure that they're successful.
Wow. Appreciate you, sister. Very powerful. Hey, Miss Pickme, come on, speak with us, sister. Come on.
And
I'm
hello to the
sorry. I
panel.
don't know what be happening to people. Sometimes this thing will just push you out. I don't know. We trying to figure it out. I appreciate everybody's patience. A lot of
That's
power
okay.
on the stage. Come on, sister.
I don't take it personal, so it's all good.
I know, I know, I know. I was just not really talking about you. I was just saying in general because you was up there and you was being patient, and I look up and you was
I was
gone.
gone. I was like, dang, they done dropped me. No, love.
No, I ain't. We don't do no dropping. It's just
I'm just
that's
joking.
crazy. Come
I
on.
love this topic, and I think it's long overdue because I think it's a major issue that we have,
You
especially in
kind
the
of low,
being.
sister. You turn up a little bit somehow?
Yeah, yeah. Let me switch from being on my car. Hold on one second. Is this better?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. I love the topic. I think it's a great topic. It's something in the BOK community that we need to talk more about. I loved hearing what is it, Rennie, what she was saying. I can relate to that, Rennie, because I was your daughter,
Mm.
and my mother called the popo on me
Wow.
and said I can't do nothing with her, and they said that there was nothing they could do with me. And so she told them to take me. So they took me to juvenile. And that definitely changed my mind about some things. So she had to make a decision to put me in a place that I wasn't accustomed to being, and that wasn't the background that I was used to kind of get me kind of scared straight. So I get what you're saying, and I think sometimes parents have to make some unpopular decisions when it comes to their children. But here's another thing when it comes to boys and girls. Women have to stop, and I say women because most of this is really our single moms. We have to stop defending bad behavior. See, my mom didn't defend the bad behavior. You didn't defend the bad behavior. But a lot of parents defend the bad behavior. So it makes it difficult to help when you're defending their bad behavior. And I think parents have to get to the point to decide, do you want help? Do you want your child to get a better chance? Do you want your child to be exposed to something different? And then make that decision. But if you're consistently approving of, exposing, condoning bad behavior, that's the problem as well. We have to take ourselves out of it as parents, and not think of ourselves as their friend. We have to be parents, and we have to tell them no sometimes, right? I don't know if you all remember Stefan Marbury. He had those shoes that he was trying to come up with a nice brand of shoes for kids who couldn't afford it, to be able to get, an NBA player shoe, right? That didn't last because people want Jordans, right? The kids still want Jordans.
Yeah.
So kids want them, and we're buying them for them. We're buying them. Kids are doing things to get them. Parents are doing things to get them. Look at these proms that these kids are having.
Right.
Parents who don't have money are spending thousands of dollars on prom. We have our priorities so mixed up in the BOK community. We got to get right. Parents have to get right, and they have to stop being friends. We got to stop trying to compare ourselves to these rappers, female and male, to people on reality TV. We want to be so much more of others than ourselves. When we learn to love ourselves, when our parents learn to love themselves and put that inside of us, I think we'll see a shift. But right now, we're so caught up on social media. We're so caught up on trying to get all of the likes. We're doing whatever we need to do for likes. Respect is out the door. You look at the little girl, Miss Shirley, the little girl who's going around doing that dance and shaking her rump, and everybody think that's cool. There was another little girl. They were having her dance to Twister's song "Wetter," and Wetter was talking about getting the coochie wet, and you have a child dancing to that. So we have to take responsibility as the parents, as the leaders in the community. Do we want something different? Because if we don't want anything different, it won't change. It's not up to the children. It is up to the adults. And the adults are acting like children. And I land.
Thank you, sister.
All right.
Come on. I ain't hear you speak, brother.
What's going on? What's going on? Everybody all right?
Nah,
You know
she
what I'm
called that
saying?
shit just now. She
Yeah,
need a hand clap of praise.
yeah. So
Man, get my damn
my
hand clap.
story
Come on.
kind of crazy because it was like I was born in Georgia and moved to Miami. You know what I'm saying? I was bad because my uncles then was bad already. So like my grandma took me in because my mama always had to work and I was getting in trouble, and she ended up moving to Atlanta. So my grandma got me and gave me a lot of love. My parents were still trying to figure out how to be parents. You know what I'm saying? So like when I moved with my grandma and my father. My father was an addict, he did his thing, but he always worked and he provided the best way he could. But like he ain't teach us what not to do. Like he ain't give me the love that he's supposed to have. Like he had me catching the bus a whole hour, two buses in the metro rail to go to school in the worst part of town. You know what I'm saying? So like I take the pride with my son, he 18. So I had just got him up here. I had just got him up here 4 years ago. But me growing up, I was around a lot of uncles. They played video games all day, like the Nintendo 64 and all them football, John Madden. My grandma had cancer. So I used to watch her wake up, go to work 5 in the morning. These dudes in here playing video games and not trying to go sell bottled waters on the street, wash no cars or nothing. So I started playing football. They was playing the game. I made it to get on the game. So my father, he got divorced with my stepmom. But I learned that he loved my brother. He loved my brother mom more than he loved mine. So it was like favoritism. You know what I'm saying? So it made my little brother he didn't really have hard. I had the hard. So they babied him. It was tough on me. You know what I'm saying? So like I seen that he was gonna love him more. He did more for him than me. You know what I'm saying? And I stayed with him.
How that made you feel, young brother? How did that make you feel?
It hurt. Cause I was the one balling. I was the one making sure he dropped out the 8th grade, my father. So he really couldn't really teach me how I thought he could because he didn't even know. So I blame my family because they wasn't supporting me. I made it that I was catching the bus for an hour to get to school in Overtown. I stayed in Liberty City. I had to deal with crossing that street, seeing the prostitutes, seeing the drug dealers, seeing dudes dead in the street because I stay in one of the worst parts of Miami. You know what I'm saying? So like, he never got up and like, I'm gonna take you to school. Like we had 3 cars in the yard. I gotta get on the bus. So and I was feeling like, why you don't want to take me to school? So the coaches started taking me to school. The coaches, they showed me more love than my father. So I got a scholarship. I signed D1. None of my family came. I had to talk to the news reporter, and I cried because none of my family was there. It was only 2 people from my high school signed D1 that year. It was me and a dude went to the U. I'm sitting at a table by myself and people going to the small schools, got 1 million people around them. And I'm just like, wow, I did this for the family. But my people put in something that if I made it to the league, I won't do nothing for my family. And guess who it was? It was my brother. Because I tried to make him tough, but he felt like he had to change the family up on me. He wanted the love that I had, but I loved everybody. I brought them to my high schools. My cousin and my brother. My little brother won state. He never played till 9th grade. I started at 6 and always got to the game before state. So I was happy I supported him on everything. So when he did that with the family, because my father, he took money from the church. My grandma passed away 11th grade, and that was my heart. You know what I'm saying? That hurt it. Because I know that was who were holding the family together. He took money from the church that my grandma was selling pickled eggs and hot sauce the year before that to give me when we had a ceremony for college. I was the only one. I felt the 8th grade. My daddy dropped out, and I still graduated with a 3.0 and got a scholarship to FIU. So I signed D1, and I was like, man, why nobody there? So the streets, I went to the streets. So I had a baby on the way, because my father was trying to tell me, oh, she ain't good for me, but me and him fell out. And my godmama came and got me. So I couldn't really listen to him. I'm doing my own thing now. So I had a baby, you know what I'm saying? In college, my baby mama, I didn't. She was so quiet when I met her, but you gotta go deeper than how you meet people. The family been through trauma. The mamas them been through trauma. You can be a pretty, however you want to be, but you don't know a person until you get a man. Some people are still chill, and some people just get off the chain on you. So I went through that too. But now I forgive my family and everybody because why y'all wasn't there. So my aunties, I had to get older and realize I had to talk to my aunties like that because I was the outcast. Nobody they know that they crossed me. So it's hard for them to apologize. But I tell them sorry because I ain't know no better. And I know the world is about vibrations and positive and negative energy. And it's a competition with everything. So if my brother crossed me, like how can I trust anybody in the world? If my father crossed me, how can I? So my heart got cold. So I went around the streets and did a lot of bad stuff, but I beat 6 felony cases. Feel me? I got in trouble in college. I got caught for armed robbery. A cornerback put me in armed robbery, and the cornerback wasn't even there. I played wide receiver. So I beat that case because his cousin got robbed, and he was a trespasser because he ain't supposed to be there. So now I had a son. The coach kicked me off the team when I beat the case. Well, I thought I was gonna get a second chance to get everything back because if you beat a case, they got probable cause to give you everything back. I wasn't failing to nothing. So now my son get bigger. I'm in his life all the time. So he never gave me no problem, and he just a different breed of a child. It's something that's just they different. He always quiet. He do everything I say, but I had to prove to him that I loved him unconditionally and helped him. He played football. The coaches had them put him in a position where he was crying. Like I had to leave to go to Georgia. The coaches was saying he ain't playing how he used to play when you was here. So now I gotta leave Georgia and come back down to Miami. Miami, I took him from a park and took him to another park. So when I did that, we beat that team that he left and he played a good game. So I helped him get his mojo back because he didn't want to play football no more. He was like 10, 11 then. But I always been around, even when his mama was trying to push me away and block me on the phone, I'm still up. But I just know one thing, if you got different baby mamas, you can't always raise all of them the same. It's gonna be one you love a little more, how to spend a little more time with if y'all ain't in one house. You know what I'm saying? So I got a daughter too. She's beautiful. She got a 4.2. I gotta love her from like I see her, but I love her from a distance because the mama changed on me because we didn't work. But I'm still there. I still make it. When I was in Miami, I made it to all her dance. She danced for Tracy. Tracy Young, that lady who got the girls big and famous and all that stuff. She's a perfect daughter. Never gave me no problem. So
Bring it on home, brother. You going deep on us. We want to make sure we give everybody a chance.
all right.
Come on,
So
come on.
wait, the
We
situation.
hear you loud and clear though, man. We hear you. Come on.
Yeah, but my son, the generation, it's just like you gotta put them in something, and like you gotta just love them. Like if they walk to school, take them sometime. You know what I'm saying? Take them fishing, take them places, and because I don't know, his mama couldn't do what I did for him. So I don't know, like certain people just different. That's all I want to check in
We
with.
appreciate you, brother. We
Yeah,
appreciate you. Come
yeah,
on.
yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna try to bring you up too in a minute, brother. Mr. Smith, is you in? Come on, brother. Come on. Mr. Smith, come on.
Yeah.
Uh, yeah, the mic open. Anybody want to speak freely? I think I gave everybody a chance to speak. Mr. Smith, you was off mic. You got some things going on, but you can speak when you get ready. If anybody want to, I was trying to get everybody, make sure I hear everybody. Come on, Miss Pick Me. Come on.
Can I ask Born? Is it Born? Born?
One
Is it
winner.
Born?
One winner.
Born winner. Okay. So Born winner, I have a
You kind
question
of
to
low,
ask.
Miss Pick Me. I think you kind
Ah,
of low again.
dang. Let me transfer it.
All right.
Is that
Yeah,
is that better?
that's better.
Am
And
I
then we
better?
got Miss Westside. We'll bring you in after Born Winner speak. Come on, Miss Pick Me.
Okay, so
I
born
appreciate
winner, I have a
everybody's
question for
patience. I
you.
know it's difficult, but I appreciate everybody being patient. But if we can keep it at a certain pace, so we can just try to let everybody get a chance to speak, because it's a lot of power here. Then you got people that want to come up. So if I move you, we'll bring you right back just by giving other people chances to speak. But I want to keep hearing from people because it's a lot of power here. Come on, Miss Pick Me.
Thank you, sir. Just to remind everybody, tap that screen. Tap the screen. Don't
Appreciate
forget, we
y'all.
need to get up to
Appreciate
fifty
y'all.
thousand.
Yeah, we appreciate y'all.
From the
Yeah.
panel.
Thank you,
You got to
guys.
put yourself on mute. If you tap from the panel, mute yourself and tap.
Oh.
So, born winner. Love the
Yeah.
name. I love what you were saying. And I loved you when you mentioned about your son. He wasn't playing well when you weren't around.
Yeah.
So I say that to say, you have more than one child and you have different baby mamas.
Yeah.
My question for you, born winner, is: do you feel your presence is needed in all of your children's lives? That's one. And two, what do you say to young people to not have several baby mamas so that you can create more of a family?
Um.
Take your time, brother. You ain't just take your time to get your thoughts out.
Say it one more time.
Come on, Miss.
What I was saying is the significance that you bring to your children's life. You shared that with us. Your son was like not playing, but when he saw you, he amped up, right?
Yes,
And I
ma'am.
say that to say that the man is so important in our children's lives.
Correct.
And having a father in the home and a present father in the child's life is just so important. Being that you have children from different women and are not necessarily in their lives as you would maybe like to be. What do you say to prevent that from happening maybe to your children so that they are maybe just one baby mama or get married as opposed to, have what are you saying to your son so that cycle is broken so that they are present in their children's lives on a daily basis?
Okay. Well, I got my son, so I'm in his life every day. But my daughter's in Miami. Uh, it's up to the women as well because it's all on what you can take. Like we so ready to to make drama instead of peace. So it's like even when I want to be in their life, they want to look this way to the friend. They got too much pride and ego. Well, now they don't because we older and they still single. And they wish they could talk to me now, but I can't talk to them how I want to because y'all crossed it and y'all knew y'all needed me. So I don't. It's up to the women. It's the women. You know what I'm saying? On how much you can take. I ain't perfect, but I know me being present in my child life is more important than us breaking up or you pushing me away. So my daughter still love me, even though her mom tried to make her hate me. She love me to death. Every time she see me, she run and jump in my arms. I send what I can all the time. So it's like I'm still present because my baby mom didn't have a father. He was incarcerated for 30 years. And when I knew that, I was wondering why she did that, but she going through trauma. And I gotta respect her mind. Because I wasn't perfect, but nobody is. But I'm a perfect father. I might not be the best the dude or husband, but I can manage. And as we grow older, it's gonna get better. So my son don't even he's not interested in girls right now because he's on his journey and he knows what I've been through because he always been there. I built my baby mom, his mom, 13 years, and in between that, I had my daughter. So my baby mamas knew each other. My baby mamas was hanging with each other. So I thought it was gonna be easy. They got into competition except they was cool hanging with each other without me with my babies. But when I come around, they ready to kill each other. That don't make any sense. So it's just the world. Like it's the world, mama. Like the women, like you know what I'm saying? Some women good now. There's some good ones. I got some riders that ride or dies, but but it's just life. You gotta go through life. They want to talk back to me, but I can't really do it. I can't do it.
I want to let Westside get in. She been patient for a minute. Come on, sister. Come on back in here.
And can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am. We hear you loud and clear.
To Brown, because I really hear the love and passion that you have for your family, but just the confusion of the situation. It's not me telling you nothing about your life, and I hope you take it with
Yeah.
love. It I start with the grace. So you had said something that probably people didn't really catch. You said your dad had I'm not sure if he said unalived or he just wasn't there, and your brothers, and it was a lot of people that let you down and it hardened your heart.
Yeah.
You said that at an early age. A lot of people don't give the grace for that being a factor with how you operate with others.
Yeah.
And it really is. And so nobody, even Nick Cannon, nobody is able to spread themselves thin enough to be a father in to the full capacity in multiple households, no matter if it's one or two. If you're not under the same roof as somebody missing out. And that's normal. I mean, not normal. I'm not okay in it. I know the women be wanting to drag me by my eyebrows, but that's something that we have to say happens and people operate in, and it's no grace for that. The part that just bothers me, right, as a man and as a father and as the leader of all these people, how could you ask for the accountability to be from the mother for your relationship with your child? Like, that's your kid. You give me, I mean, tooth and nail, life and limb type. Like, maybe it was different. You didn't let us know everything, but just the way you like, well, she tripping because we're not together, and I hear that a
Yeah.
lot. I hear that a lot, and it make me uncomfortable. But I take into consideration the fact that you didn't have a dad, because my dad didn't have a dad, and his favorite thing to say was, "At least I'm here." So that means whatever it come with, at least I'm here, because I didn't even have that, and I didn't see that till I got older. So I'm not, dismissing your rationale at all. I don't want no. It's no disrespect.
Yeah. But I was a better father than her father was, and that's my main point. I was better than my father was to me, and I was better than her father was to her. And that's the main goal because you can't let them push over, you can't let them run you over just to try to be your child life. I'm not that person. I'm gonna move on. I'm gonna keep going, and I still be there, ain't no problem. But like it's too much bad energy when I go around there, and I'm gonna have to hurt somebody. So I avoid that because I got a security company up here. And I work for celebrities and all that. If you go look at my page, we got real business. So I can't be around low vibrations. I move up energy now because I done grow and mature as a man. You know what I'm saying? So like I was young, nobody was perfect. They was tripping, I was tripping. So like we could have still got along, but now y'all want to get along now. I'm too strong for that. We get along, but
Friend,
we gonna say
I think you misunderstanding me, and not to cut you off, but it's like that has nothing to do with the part I was addressing. It's
said two things.
you very well are right in all of that in saying all that reasoning, but then when you ask for the accountability, that's the agitation right
Oh,
there. Asking for the accountability to be in the other party, but give yourself X amount of excuses. Y'all can't do that
I'm
as
in the
men.
other party though. I'm in both of their lives. I still be
Uh,
around her. I still be
okay.
around her. I don't just
Yeah.
avoid her. No, I be there. I've been there since a little girl. Every dance show, everything, shoes, Christmas, everything. Every other day, swingers, everything. It
No,
just
right. I'm not saying you didn't at all. I'm just saying the way you had said that
yeah. I
you
said it
can't be
wrong.
because of her. That's something that people say a lot on this app, and
I think
I
he's
gotta ask
speaking.
more for men.
I think
I
he's
said it
speaking
wrong.
towards what we hear every day as far as the fight. It sounds like he's in a constant battle as a fight.
Yeah.
I don't have any kids, so I can't necessarily
Hey,
I get mute when I have this conversation because me personally, I'm like the things I hear that y'all be going through between each other, especially once y'all get above a certain age, I'm not going through that. Go ahead
yeah.
and take whatever child support. Let me see my kid whenever I want to see him. And we can cut communication. It just sounds like he has a constant fight that he's no longer willing to fight as long as he can see his child. And that's why he's like, yo, the accountability at some point
Accountability
needs
at
to be
some
on
point
some
needs to
other
be on
party.
some other party.
Yeah, I take accountability, but you know they don't take it. I tell them I can't keep doing that. I ain't no child support or nothing because I know I be there. You know what I'm saying? So I can't fight. You can't keep fighting. They trying to replace you. I ain't got time for that.
So
They
what
stand.
accountability do men have? And I say women have majority of the accountability, by the way, when it comes to a child being born, right? You as men, and this isn't to any particular man, but you as men, right? You know you're not interested in marrying this woman, right? Y'all just hooking up or what have you. You know, even if she's your woman, you haven't found characteristics of in her that makes you want to marry her. So y'all just smexing.
Nah, I was
You give her
gonna
your
marry her.
seed. Hold on. I remember I said this isn't about anybody in particular, right?
All
So
right.
born winner, it's not about you. I don't because I don't know you well enough to talk about you. I'm saying in general. So my question for men on the panel and these young men on the panel is are you careful on who you're giving your seed to, right now remember I said ultimately it's the woman's responsibility because it's her body, right? So we got to take that off the table because that's where I ultimately believe. But my question is, as men, it is your seed that you're spreading, right, that you're giving. Do you not care who you're giving your seed to? Because at the end of the day, you're going to have to deal with this drama for the rest of your life, or at least until 18 or possibly 22 if they go to college. When they get married, it's a long road. My question as men is, are you careful who you're giving your seed to? Do you look at your seed as something that's important, that is special, that everybody doesn't get, or is it just, oh well, stuff happens? So that's my question to the men.
That's a good question. Miss, open my eyes. You there? You've been patient. Come on, speak to that. Can you speak to that?
Yeah, I'm ready. Yeah, I'm
What
very
you
careful.
just said, you can speak
Can
to it. Come on.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you loud and clear, brother.
Yeah, for me, I mean, people are careless, right? And carelessness is just something that a lot of people deal with. But at the same time, not everybody fits that fits wears those shoes, right? We have become so judgmental as a society, and a lot of that comes from childhood trauma and bitterness, right? Not every man is out here not giving a damn where he put his seed, right? Some people are actually careful. Some people are actually conscious. Some people are actually taking the time to get to know somebody, and we still end up giving our seed to the wrong person, right? But at the same time, we still had to take the ownership and the responsibility for that, right? I don't have whether I give my seed to a person who I thought was good because I spent time trying to understand who they are and realize that they're not good, but they have my seed now. I have to take responsibility, right? She can be bad all she wants, but at the same time, hey, that doesn't reflect on me, right? And I think a lot of us have, especially as men, we have gotten that bad rep as being maybe a deadbeat father or not being a dad because, hey, maybe that person that we gave our seed to, maybe they weren't no good either, right? So being able to kind of use that and take that ownership for myself and me do what I need to do as a man for my son, then guess what? That's what I'm gonna do, right? Did we fail did we fail our children? When I think about it, I used to be very bitter. I used to be very angry, right? Especially like growing up. My dad has always been in the house, right? But being present doesn't mean present, right? Okay? Being present is physically present, but can you show me? Can you give me a hug? Can you tell me you love me?
Yeah.
Can you do all of that? Right? That stuff didn't happen, right? So I carried anger, rage, and bitterness for a long time. But something hit me. What hit me? The reality of is that they raised me the way their parents raised them. And that right there freed me because it gave me grace to not necessarily look at their flaws or their shortcomings, but to understand better that they gave me the best they could from what they came out of, right? So therefore, I took responsibility for me and said, hey, I'm going to be the generational curse breaker. I'm not putting it on them, right? I'm not putting it on mama. I'm not putting it on daddy. I'm not putting it on grandma. And guess what? I'm here. And it's my job to boss up and to change the trajectory of the course. That's what I do, right? It's my job to shift mindsets, right? But that has to start within me, right? I'm not looking at nobody else. If I can't look inward, if I can't look at me, then I can't tell you anything, right? So it started with me, right? My son is 18. I'm about to drop off, brother. Well, my son is 18, and I'm sorry, my son's about to be 21 this year. My son is autistic, right? Highly autistic, very smart. Okay, but on the other side of that is that I had to learn as a parent what it took to love outside of myself, not based off of what I learned growing up in my household, right? I had to go outside of myself and learn how to parent, right? Because parenting is not always taught or demonstrated correctly.
Thank you, brother.
It's not. But at the same time, I'm not sitting here blaming mama and daddy for all the things that they couldn't teach me, right? I had to go and get it myself. So I hope I answered your question. That's all I have.
Thank you so much, brother. I like that. Mr. Calvin Lynch, you there, brother? You've been being patient. You there? You want to speak? Calvin, you there, brother? Okay, Calvin. Break. Any other brothers want to speak to Calvin? You there, brother? Okay. Any other brothers want to speak to? Hold on. Let me bring. Go ahead. Whoever want to speak, you can speak. Did he mispick me? Did he answer? I'm sorry. Did he answer your question, sister? We lost you, brother.
He actually did, and I really appreciate him. I really wanted it more on a broader sense, not on his specific, because I know he knows men who are out there spreading the seed, right? Not necessarily him. And we just have to do better. That's all.
Global, I'm gonna bring you up. Global, I'm gonna bring you up, brother. I'm gonna bring you up, brother. You gotta let the other speak. Gotta bring you up. Mr. Ray Sean, you there, brother? You want to speak?
Yes. How y'all doing? I'm 47 from Michigan, and I was listening to y'all for a minute, and I'm 47 years old and I got 5 kids. And I'm married. I've been with my wife for 14 years, going on 15 years in September 19th. And when I was coming up, I ain't had no father. So I know how it feels to not have a father figure inside a household. So I broke the curse of, not having kids and not being in their lives or in the same household every day. So if we have more positive fathers out here like that, I think our black community will be much better because my kids bring home all A's, sometimes B, but you could tell a kid when a father is in their lives more than a kid that their father's not in their lives.
Come on, brother. You there, brother? Come on.
Yeah, I'm there.
Okay, okay.
So, we just need more, father figures like that. I'll be following you a lot on Facebook,
Thanks.
Instagram, everywhere. So, you know, I like your contents.
I appreciate you, brother. Appreciate you speaking too. I
I do
wanted
have
to
a question.
go ahead. Come on, young
My
man.
bad, my
Come on.
bad. I don't wanna interrupt nobody.
Come on, man. Come on, young brother.
No, I do have a question as far as because me and Rennie, the lady that was on here earlier, me and her talk personally because she does this and whatnot. But my question revolves around like gentle parenting. And do we think that there is a shift necessarily from what I don't know exactly how y'all were raised or things of that nature, but I do think as far as the disciplinary, like she was saying, how parents really don't have control
Good,
over,
good, good point, brother. Come on, come on, come on. Wake
yeah,
it
how,
up. Bring it. Bring it. Come on.
yeah, how parents really don't have the control over a lot of these situations. And she calls it, she says that my generation is spoiled because
Mm.
we kind of grew up on the gentle parenting aspect. But me personally, I'm like, it depends on who you're talking to. Because my dad didn't play that. It was times, yeah, it was times it got rough. But I do think it kind of molded me into who I am today. So my question for people that do have kids and people that parent their kids a certain type of way, do we think gentle parenting is kind of the main reason why these kids are necessarily not they don't really have respect for authority? They don't have
Mm.
respect for authority. They'll the things that I forgot who brought it up when they'll go to school cursing the teachers out. Like it really boils me when I see these TikToks or because I got a homegirl that teaches middle school and the things that she tells me that these kids do, I'm like, I don't remember us even thinking
Right.
the way they think. Like, don't get me wrong, we were smoking in the bathrooms, we were skipping school, but when it comes down to the disrespect that I hear, or even thinking about laying your hands on an adult, we did not think like that. Like, because we knew what time it was. Even if the teacher even looked like she was about to reach for that phone, you instantly started crying because you knew what time it was when you got to the crib.
Yeah,
I
brother.
don't think these kids hold the same fear for their parents, a healthy fear, quote unquote. Like, I don't think it's the same anymore.
It's a good question, young brother. I want to allow the sisters with kids and answer
Can
that.
I
Come on, sisters. Can you come on?
can
Come
I
on,
say
sister.
something?
Yeah, we want the
So my
sisters to
children,
answer. Come on, sister. So that's a good
so
point
my
that young brother
children,
said.
so my children are 25, 24, and 23.
Right.
They're young adults. So when I was parenting them, there was a lot of things that I did not do with because my mom did it to me and I knew how I felt. So I got what was stitching cords, whatever's in my mom's reach, pots, pans, broomsticks, standing in corners, everything. However, did I do those things with my own children? No, it's because I didn't. To me, that was abuse in my eyes. But I still parented them. They still got spankings when needed. I let them have an opinion in a say. It was just how you can tell me, Mom, you hurt my feelings, blah blah blah. But it was the way how you tell me. You can't tell me by rolling your eyes and moving that head. No, we can have a child and daughter conversation. Now my conversation, as they got older, my conversation changed with them because they're no longer children. They're by this time what they're teenagers. So no, I'm not going to do that soft parenting with you. I'm going to do whatever it needs to be to get my point of what I need to get done to get my point across. So when people say, "Oh, it's not about being a friend," but when your children get older, your conversation changes with them. Everything changes because they're not kids. So you have to talk to them. You have to talk to them on the level they can understand you. And that's what I did. And yes, my children turned out good. I am not as old as my children are. I am not a grandmother. I wish I was. Somebody need to make something shake around here.
I was
But
like, you can't.
That's a threat.
You're gonna have 3 of them tomorrow. You're gonna have 6 of them
I'm
tomorrow.
against that for your kids.
but I'm just saying, a lot of, I think everyone parenting and everyone on this panel has the same goal when it comes to their kids. And thing is, we just all do it differently. So however, whatever works for you in your household and you have that good success with your children, then by all means do it. Do it. If it works for you and you still get that good outcome, can't nobody tell you how to do anything in it, how to raise your children. Can't nobody tell you how to do it. And especially if they come out to being successful in life, we all are on the same page of wanting our children to be better than us. We all are on the same page of wanting our children to be more than us, and etc.
Yeah.
So as long as you accomplish that goal, no matter how you accomplish it, as long as it's accomplished, I land my
Oh,
plane.
that's right. I know you a good mama. Can I weigh in with a different perspective?
Come on,
I'm
please.
I'm not a I'm not a mother, but my mom had me at 18 and I'm the oldest of five. So like I got the experience like her whole journey as a mother, and for some reason after me the kids just didn't get this, like it was, I would really sit there and look and be like, you're not going to chin check him right now, and you would have took me between the washer and the dryer for half of that, and they just, okay, this what we doing. And I think it's because, and don't, this is a safe space, don't drag me by my eyebrows, but if anybody's seen the Black Panther movie, when Unalive Monger had said, for my people that chose the ocean over the shackles, like he was speaking to his level of it, where it's not the divinity of obeying, lineage and the kings and shit. I'm the warrior that's gonna set it off, and that's what these kids are. It's unregulated right now, and it's targeted wrong. But that level of YN, I guess they want to call it, that's what's gonna be the change. And the fact that we don't have that fear, that, because let's be honest, we're not perfect. We are not perfect. So to say that we to implement what we had got would be the best results, we cannot say that because we don't know what's going on. So maybe the way it's going right now is for the benefit of how they're going to need to operate. And then I look at social media, and that's really the authority. You don't want to mess your no smut on your name on the social media, so you can polish and high and all the niceties, and that's what's going to train them up in the, the social interaction and everything, because you're going to put your best smile on like you do it in public, shaking hands with people.
You say that West Side because every time I see a
Every time
video,
I see a video,
my
come
bad.
on, bro. You good?
But now every time I see a video where like kids will do something or whatever, and the parent is like pretty much like the gentle parenting aspect of it, I'll send the TikTok to my dad like, see, this is what y'all doing. Because like you said, my parents had me young. I think my dad was 19 and my mom was just turning 18 when she had me. So, and I'm the oldest of three, well, oldest of four. And like I seen the difference because I'm the oldest. I'm the only boy, and I got nothing but sisters. So I seen the difference between how my parents raised me, because I was the only boy for 8 years. So I seen the difference between how my parents raised me, and then it got to my sisters. And I'm like, yo, you're not gonna do nothing? Like, y'all just gonna sit there and just watch that? Like, but if it was me, I'm talking about head between washer and dryer. So I do think it's a difference, especially when you're talking about social media. Social media is these kids' parents. You just got a parent that stay in the house. That's somebody that birthed you. But now social media is definitely where these kids' minds is at.
If I may answer the question, I do think that whatever gentle parenting, whatever that is called, I think it's failing us, because I think parents aren't parenting anymore. I agree so much with what and I can't see you. I'm sorry, Wes. I'm just gonna call you Wes. I agree a lot with what she said. It's not just the fact that you have to be physical, right? I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about putting your kid's head between the washer and dryers. That's not what I'm talking about. But these kids have no respect. Respect isn't even being taught, to the point that I've seen how I was on a live, and the way they were cursing at an older woman at 70, 71 years old. And that's okay. The way kids are not respectful to adults. There's no yes, ma'am. There's no ma'am anymore. There's no yes, sir, no, sir anymore. It's nothing. It's a hyena mentality where they all get together and they bully. There's a lot of bullying going on. Everybody is trying to be what they're not. And where are they getting all of this from? We say social media, but then you turn around and you see the parents doing the same thing. So I don't know if it's that the parents didn't live their lives and are trying to live their lives through their children. I'm not sure what it is, but there is no parenting going on, period. Because and parents teach you respect. They don't respect the schools. They don't respect the teachers. They don't respect the principals. And they dang sure don't respect just any adult. They don't respect anyone. So is it that there should be gentle parenting? We should have some parenting. And I think at this point, we're not even getting parenting anymore. Kids are just being raised to do what they want to do. They think everything is monetary. We're not teaching them about building wealth. We're not teaching them about saving. We're not teaching them about working hard. Everybody wants to be a content creator because there's a lot of people who are making money. But what if that doesn't go well for you? What are we teaching our children? Who are we putting in their lives for them to have mentors if you are a single mom and you don't have that? There's so many things that we're not doing, and these kids are just being raised. Kids can't even have a conversation because everything is texting. Have you ever heard a conversation? They can't even have conversations because they're so accustomed to doing everything online, texting. They don't even write cursive anymore. Maybe cursive will be obsolete. I don't know. But that's not the parents' fault. That's more of the school. But I'm really referencing teaching. What are we teaching our children? And I think a lot, even if you choose not to put your hands on your children because that's your choice, but at least discipline them, at least punish them, take stuff away and stop giving them everything because the world ain't going to give them nothing. And I land.
I think the young lady Westside, they called me, picked me. I don't know if you was here, but the young lady Westside spoke a powerful point earlier, and she was just talking about how things are just changing. So she had spoke to that sister. If you want to repeat what you said earlier, if you can, you there, sister? That was a
Yep.
powerful point. Can you try to repeat a
Thank you.
little?
I appreciate you for seeing me, friend. I just meant, and I meant no
After you speak,
disrespect by it.
I'm sorry, sister, but after you speak, Princess, I'd like for you to speak if you want to come back after the sister speak, because I ain't heard from you from a while, and you was making some powerful points too. Come on, sister.
I was just saying how the older generation can only with absolute certainty tell us what they did wrong and what not to do, right? And so we try to like profoundly tell the kids that we have the answer, and we don't even understand what the equation is going to be in a couple years from now, and it's changing fast. And we at the turning point where technology is about to take over AI, and how everything is being manufactured. I know it seems like, oh, it's going to be distant, but it's going fast, and they're going to have to operate within that. So maybe the way that we did it isn't going to be suitable for how they need to do it. And to that same sentiment, 10 years ago, if they would have dropped the fact that is verifiable proof that there was aliens, I think it would have been like civil unrest, seriously. But the way they desensitized us without even us knowing that we were being desensitized, we received it and it was like, oh, okay. Like we learn how to do things to be able to work in the construct of the future. And so like we can't tell them that this is the answer, this is the answer, this is the answer if we don't know. We're not gonna know. It's not gonna be us doing it. And so I think the parenting and the things that's happening right now is the uncomfortable middle ground of us trying to figure it out. But we always do. We adapt. We don't, you know, it's not gonna never be to the detriment of us. We're not strong enough to wipe us out.
Miss Princess, you there? You want to speak?
Yeah, I was gonna say, coming from having been in foster care from baby to basically at 20, and I'm 22 now, I can say, like, in my teen years, I was out of control. I was running away, going to DT multiple times a week, getting a slap on the wrist. Like, I didn't take anything seriously until my foster family that I ended up with. And of course, like, they're not allowed to like discipline you, but I definitely learned, like, yes, ma'am, no, ma'am, yes, sir, no, sir. Like, I learned real quick, you don't get to be acting out like that. And so for me, like, I take that with me as like, because I don't have kids, but I do plan on having my own kids. But I do take that with me as like, that's something that I want to have a change in it.
You there, sister? We lost you.
Oh yeah, I'm there. Like, I definitely want to have that change because, you know, this generation of parenting, it's crazy. Like, the amount of disrespect, like, even parents, like, there was a video that went viral of this girl who cut this girl's hair and the mom was defending it. I was like, no, like, that's not right. That's straight rude. And I land my plane.
We appreciate you, young lady, because we need the young people's perspective. Come on, Ray Sean. Come on, brother.
Okay, as a father in the same household, I don't, discipline my kids. I could just look at them, and put that fear, in their heart, like, okay, daddy is for real. You know what I'm saying? So, some people got different, things they do with their kids if they try to discipline them. Yes, I take away games if something I don't like or, something they did that I ain't agree with. But it's mostly social media and rap, is really getting these kids, really these little girls, like, I could go to my family house and I could see my niece's kids is the same age as my kids. And I could see the difference. Everybody in the family can see the difference. See, I don't have my kids listening to, Sexy Red, all that type of stuff that other kids listen to. My daughters is 10 and 12. So I don't have them listen to that. They can't listen to that. They don't even know it. But if I go over my niece's house, her daughter know it word by word. You know what I'm saying? And I don't like it
I don't like it. I don't like it.
at all. So, like my niece always say, I could have my kid over there. I would love have my kid be with you for a year, because I ain't got to whoop my kids to discipline. It just, I could talk to them. I could teach them what's right is wrong. I could show them, and I could look at them and tell them, what I'm saying, this how you're supposed to do. So, but social media, I give social media 60%, but I give rap a whole 100.
Yeah.
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 I love it.
It ain't that type of rap that I grew up in the 90s. As a teenager in the 90s, we had Tupac, we had all different types of rap. Biggie, we had rap that Nas, all types of different raps that give you knowledge. But now it's like these rappers nowadays, they ain't giving out no knowledge. You know what I'm saying? They just giving out stuff that kids can go do bad with, So that's all.
Anybody else want to? Anybody else want to come in and speak?
Can I speak on it for just a
Come on,
moment, and
brother. Come
then
on. Yeah.
you can drop me down so if anybody else want to
It's
come up.
okay. So, come on, you guys got a lot of powerful, good, balanced conversation going, and people listening. So, if they
I
want to
love
come
it.
up, you guys welcome to come up. You know, I'm gonna get to you. Come on, brother.
All right. I'm looking at the imbalance, right? Because
Pull you back up in
I
a
don't
minute,
know,
sister. I'm sorry.
like
Come on.
when I think about it, we we were sort of the practice generation, right? You think about it, dude. If you have your parents and your parents got grandkids, more than likely they don't treat them grandkids the way they treated us, and it's like, wait a minute, why you so nice to grandparents? Well, they not my kids, right? So in a lot of these cases, we were kind of like the practice
Yeah.
generation. You know what I mean? So with that being said, there's also this imbalance because there's a major disconnect that's happening, right? And that I'm not religious, but there is, the men will be they will be turned against their sons, and the mothers will be turned against their daughters. And I mean, we're seeing that systematic breakdown happen all around us, right? And the truth of the matter is that most of the society is still asleep to our truth, right? We see it, but most people are still asleep, right? Now we're looking at where's the disconnect at? Well, the disconnect is, for me, it's going back to that present, right? And really understanding what it means to be present and understanding your child. If we have, I work with children with autism, right? And one of the things that we have to teach our parents is they have to disconnect these 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6 year olds from social media, from the tablets, from the cell phones. Why? Because they have to be present enough to put in place the things that we are putting in place while we're working with the kids all day, right? So think about it. Back in the days, the mother or the parents went to sent the kids to school, and then on top of that, the teachers also help with the raising of the kids, because somebody says it takes a village to raise a child. So what's missing? The disconnect, in my opinion, is the lack of teaching, the lack of education, the lack of the willingness to actually learn and to do something different, right? The willingness to actually learn and to grow and to evolve into who we can be, right, in a much better way. So we're looking at that, right? Because not only is it that, it's that emotional and that psychological disconnect, right? So people are disconnected. They'll find anything they can, in my opinion, and what I see, to distract that child, so that they don't have to be present. They'll give them a tablet. They'll throw a phone. They'll sit them in front of the TV. You know what I mean? Anything they can do so that they don't necessarily have to be bothered with dealing with the behaviors, right? That child might be displaying. So that's kind of my thoughts and my opinion on that. Thank you guys.
Thank you, brother. I wanna. Okay. I got a question. Go ahead, Miss Pickney. I see you off mic. Come on.
No, I was gonna ask him a question, but I'll go ahead with your question because you ain't been pushing back today. I'm waiting for the pushback.
It's a lot of balanced people here, and it's a lot of accountability. I want to, but I don't want to steer the conversation like that because it's a lot of balanced people here. But what I do want to ask the panel is, because the young lady spoke, she left, but I do want to ask: do you guys, considering where we at and what's going on, do you guys think we can get some sort of balance, or do you see a change happening that is return from? It's a real question. Now, Ms. Goddess, I see you just came in. You can speak, and I'd like to let the young lady Rennie speak if she'd like to. I don't know how much of the conversation you heard, but you can speak to whatever you heard or the topic itself. Come on, sister. Happy to have you here.
Hello.
This,
So
this
I
one of my
did
this one of
want
my co-hosts on my real podcast, y'all. I ain't want to cloud her up like that. Come on, sister.
to play and everybody on the platform. I love everything that everybody is saying. What I want to talk about is kind of to piggyback off the last guy who was speaking. It's things that are not being taught in the households, and that goes back to manners. That goes back to emotional intelligence. That goes back to us having to explain to our children how to deal with certain situations. There's if there is a disconnect with them emotionally, they're not going to understand, hey, this is right and this is wrong. Because their parents are allowing them to get away with a lot of this stuff. The new parents are not teaching them manners. That's why it's so much disrespect. They're coming up to the schools, cussing out the teachers, and they know their children are doing wrong things, just like the young lady was saying. And I think that if we got back to those old school ways, like the yes, sir, yes, ma'am, as well as making sure that our children know who they love who they are. You have to give them love and discipline in the household. And those two things are not being done. A lot of people, they don't even know how to love themselves. That's why it's so many children that are angry. The children are so angry. They terrorize the neighborhood if they do not get that love in the household, because this is what they're seeing every day. The parents don't have time for their kids. They're happy that there are these devices that they can utilize to keep them out of their face.
Come on, wake it up,
Get
baby.
out
Come
my
on.
face. That's what go do your own thing, because now the parents, they're on social media as well. They're in their phones more than the kids. There is no leadership in the household. We can't expect them to go out into the streets and do something that they don't get at home. So definitely, if there should be some type of parenting classes. Being a parent is hard. Another person on the panel stated, is if our parents weren't taught certain things, we can't really get upset with them for not teaching us those things that they didn't get.
Right.
So now we're at a point where it is a new generation where we're trying to break generational curses because we didn't get those I love yous and teaching about credit and economics and real life stuff. We're sending them to school, they're teaching them bull crap that is not applying to their lives anyway. None of this stuff that they're teaching in the education system, it's not helpful. So if we need to be at home teaching our children emotional intelligence, how to deal with situations when they come to you, how to not react to different things. People are going to call you stupid. They're going to cuss you out. They're going to do all of this. They don't care about you. But you have to be emotionally intelligent enough to say, you know what? You got your own opinion. I'm not about to slap you. I'm not going to put my hands on you. You're not going to allow me to change my character because I am emotionally intelligent. And I land my plane.
So I have a question. Host, you mentioned about, I think you were asking, is there anything that we can do to affect the change? I think is it open after he spoke? I think you said something. What should we do, or what should we be doing? I think, or can we do anything? Is that what you said? What you asked a question, and I want to make sure I'm.
Are you talking about me, sister?
Yeah, you did. You asked us. You said, because I took myself off mute and I said, go ahead, and then you asked a question. I thought you asked, is there anything that we can do, to affect these changes? Well, if you didn't, that's where I'm gonna go.
Okay, come on. You can come on, sister. It's extension. Come on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was asking something different, but come on.
Oh, okay. Well, open. I think it was open. Open. Are you the one who works with autistic children?
Yeah, that's him.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. I love what you were saying, and I just listening to Gabby, and Gabby had said, some things that we need to do. I think Gabby mentioned parenting classes, but my question is, The issue is if we offered all of that stuff, would these parents take it? Because at the end of the day, these parents don't think they're doing anything wrong. These women who dress like they 304s with the kids right there and they up there twerking, they don't see anything wrong. And when people lovingly say to them, hey, maybe you shouldn't have your child or whatever, they clap back. It's apparent, like Open, when you suggested that they don't give their children, the iPad or the internet, for a certain amount, they're not listening. Parents or teachers are trying to talk to the parents. They don't get support from parents. So then I'm wondering if we start penalizing the parents when these kids start acting up, because especially if you talk to them and you shared with them, hey, this is what's going on, and maybe you all get a plan together and work cohesively, as opposed to teachers feeling like they're working by themselves because the parents are so trying to be the kid's friend. Maybe that's a solution for us. That, if you've come up with plans with the teachers, they share it with you, they've given you some programs for you to enroll your children in, or what have you, whatever that looks like, and then it continues to happen because you're not following through. Maybe these parents need to be penalized in some way, because it's not working with us trying to have great conversation with them, teachers trying to be supportive of them. You have all of these podcasts talking about children and things we should be doing. We see kids beating up people. We see kids unaliving people, unaliving teachers, jumping on teachers, jumping on principals, and nothing happens. So to me, the only thing that should happen is that we need to have some consequences to the parent, because the parent in a lot of these situations are the issue, not the children. The children are doing what they are allowed to do, and many of them have no discipline and are allowed to be disrespectful to their parents. Some of these kids are smoking weed with their parents. They're not grown. They smoking weed, they drinking, they cussing, they're acting as adults, yet we want to penalize them when the adult is in the room allowing them to do so. So to Gabby's point and to Opal's point, I think we need to start holding these parents accountable for they brought the kids in the world. They're responsible for the kids' actions until they're grown. I land.
Okay, I want to let the sister Rainey speak, and then I want to go up to council, and then over to Thanos. Come on, sister, you want to speak?
Yeah. To go back to the gentle parenting question, because I think it kind of ties into the question that you asked. I think the idea of like allowing children to have a space to be comfortable with, being expressive and things of that nature is important. But I think a lot of parents have gotten a little too loose with it. So this whole term gentle parenting has become like almost like passive, like you're just allowing them to do whatever they want, speak how they want, express themselves in any way, shape, or form that they feel. And then you're calling it gentle parenting because these are things you didn't experience or you weren't able to do as a child. And so, growing up, I have a sister that would use a lot of excuses behind why she behaved the way she did. And a lot of it was not being able to express herself to our parents. And me telling her, we have trauma, right? Most people in the world have some level of trauma. But as children with parents, we forget that our parents have far more trauma than we do in most cases because they had less resources than we do today. And so we all know that our parents make mistakes, we make mistakes. And so without blaming them for everything, I chose a different path. And I chose to not basically use all of my trauma as an excuse to fail in life. So a lot of times when kids are failing in life, we're blaming the parents and the fact that, they probably didn't allow them to express themselves. They were probably neglecting them in some way. But at the end of the day, I feel like at the same time, that's a crutch because you can go through all levels of trauma and still overcome that level of trauma by holding yourself accountable. Essentially, we have to do a better job of holding these kids accountable. So yes, you can have grace for them, but at the same time, there's still a level of accountability that needs to be had. And I think there is a lack of it because of this whole gentle parenting thing. Now it's just like we're just letting things slide because, you know, they're expressing themselves. No, they're being disrespectful and there's a fine line. So I think the gentle parenting thing, I love the idea of kids being able to express themselves, but there's still a level of accountability that needs to be had. And that is what I think we lack right now.
Thank you, sister. Come on, counsel. We want to hear you, brother. You there? Counsel.
Hiya. Personally, I think all this pandering crap, like, I agree with what the two ladies have just said. All this pandering crap would never have happened back in the day. I mean, I had clear boundaries and I knew where I stood. See, with my father, there was none of this pandering crap. It was, my dad said something and that was the end of the story. There was none of this arguing back or anything. Like what I'm seeing now, and like the lady at the bottom right said about them dancing and all that. That is what happens. That's happening over here. See, in the council estates, I saw a group of kids.
You said you.
Like,
Wait,
one of
hold
them
on.
had
You said, hold on. Where you at?
Central Scotland.
Wow.
Born
Okay,
and
we
bred in
really
the council
appreciate you.
estates.
We appreciate you
I
being here.
appreciate
Come
you
on.
guys.
Come on.
But like I says, in the council estates, they're running about with bottles of wine and doobies. You know what I mean? Like she says, she's spot on, and it's happening over here. So, I mean, I nearly got attacked by a group of them the other day, and I was just like, bunch of plebs, I just kept walking. But back in the day, the police would have actually kicked you up the arse, tell you to go home and tell your mum why you got kicked up the arse. And you wouldn't dare no tell your mum, because the police would tell your mum the next time she saw them. You were almost like you were that terrified you wouldn't step out of line. But I think that's how it should still be. Personally, a lot of people are going to disagree with me, but I think that's how it should be. And I think you should be able to put your hands on your kids if need be. But what's happened is a lot of these parents are, excuse my language, arseholes now. They didn't care. As the lady says, they're dancing about. The wains are, you know what I mean, picking up the vapes. I saw a kid picking up the woman's vape the other day in the park, and she wasn't even, it didn't faze her. But I think I'll land my plane there. Personally, I think you should be able to put your hands on your kids if need be, but it's gone too far. It's gone far too far. Like I say, the parents are the problem now. It's not the kids. They're only doing what they're being allowed to do. I'll land my plane there.
Thank you so much coming from Scotland. That's we like that certain type of people talking from different places because a lot of people will attribute this type of behavior to, you know, certain nationalities or nationality. So we really appreciate your perspective. And stay with us because I got something I want to ask you too. Thanos, you there, brother? Come on, speak to us, brother.
Yes, sir. How y'all doing this blessed evening? I'm gonna say this, man. One thing I seen about my community, we done let so many outside entities, people or whatever tell us what to do with our people. We done let, you know, them bring in illegal stuff, them bring in the unaliving tools, you know, this, you know, telling our black women, you know, come to us if you need help, not to your community. So I can't put it on the parents because I know the type of parents I growed up around. I know the type of parent that I was raised by. And my parents ain't just consist of my mom and my daddy. I'm 40, so. But nowadays, women are being told to not be a mother, but rather a friend to your children. Women nowadays are told to not teach your son how to be a better man. Women are told to raise your son, food, shelter, clothes, some shoes, and send them to school. That's not love. That's why the parents, when they try to show love to their children look at them like, what is this? But when the parents give the children an iPad, a phone, or electronic device, they treat it like the parent actually showed them love. I'm gonna tell you this, man. I just came from Virginia today. I drove. It's a 9-hour drive back to Murfreesboro, but I was doing like 120 the whole time, so I got it like in 5 hours. I stopped at a gas station, called wigglers or wigglers or something like that. I don't even know the term of it. It's it's a YT lady. She chastising her son in the back seat because she took his tablet from him, and you can hear it. She telling him, "Give me the tablet, give me the tablet." I'm a chastise, and she chastising. So I looked at that and I'm like, you know what? That's something nice because I didn't hear that kid crying. The kid wasn't crying because he knew he did something wrong. When the modern day mothers, I'm gonna just say this, and I'm just saying this off of my observation. The modern day black mothers, the young black mothers, they don't want to be mothers. They don't want to raise their kids. They don't want to go get a job. They don't want to do what it takes to somewhat, give their children a household. If it lacks the father, that don't mean that child needs to lack the opportunity to experience certain things. Just because a father is not in the household, that does not mean that the mother needs to let the absence of a man be the reason why she neglect her child. Because a lot of us that come on this panel, including myself, we was raised by single mothers. And we know what a single mother could do. Our single mothers was the ones who turned water into wine. Those are the single mothers that, we growed up around. But when it comes to the failure of the children, I would have to blame it on not the modern day mothers. I would blame it on our generation because we not stepping in and doing what is right. We letting them make the bad choices and decisions, then we later will criticize them for making a bad choice and decision. Just because they grown, that don't mean you done nurturing them. Just because, a mother always gonna say her sons, that's her baby. Even though she know his name, she call her sons her babies. So when we see this generation of women not doing not doing the right things when it comes to raising their child and failing their children, I think us who know that that child deserves better, we don't need to ignore. We need to get involved. Because when I growed up, I seen young ladies have kids and they wasn't able to fully be there for the children, but other people stepped in to provide that child with a living, a livelihood. And the reason why these modern day women are being seen in a bad light when it comes to motherhood is because the ones that have what it takes for them to be great as somebody that support them, we just leaving them out there for dry. We just walking past them like somebody standing outside the store with a cup asking for a penny. I'm not going to blame the modern day people because when we growed up, that generation that raised us, they picked up from the generation that raised them. So this generation, the generation that raised us, we need to make sure the generation that's in front of us can pick up from us. So I can't sit here and say, they failed because of them. I say they failed because of us. That's what I say. And I take accountability and responsibility for some of the bad things that take its course in the communities because I promoted it. I did it. So I can't sit here and blame the generation now on the choices that they made, which are bad, and say it's because of their parents when us, previous of them, we the ones set out these bad examples that these parents now have, relied upon to raise their children. And I think we can fix it. We just got to get involved. We got to stop feeling like, okay, go to the Social Security office, get EBT.
Hold on. You say you think what? Say that again.
I think we need to get involved.
Okay, that ain't what you said. You said something else. You want me to tell you what you said?
What's that?
You said you think we can fix it. I need to hear it. Come on.
Yeah. That's something we need to do. We need to fix that. We need to fix our young mothers. We need to show, these young lost fathers, man, listen, man, it's okay to take your son to football practice. It's okay to take your daughter to rollerblade skating. This generation now, we need to stop looking at the generation. my generation, we need to stop looking at this generation and looking at them like it's no way we can help them. They need our help. They making bad choices in front of us because they need our guidance. They need our help. They like if you go in a hospital right now and you have a wound, if you do something to that wound, they finna come out and stop you. They finna come out and they not finna let you keep doing that to yourself. They finna come out and stop you. So why would we see our young black mothers and fathers doing these things to themselves and we just sit there and look at them and be like, oh, he crazy, he weird, something wrong with him. Nah, ain't nothing, there's something wrong with you if you gonna sit there and watch it. But then you get mad when somebody else see it and promote it in the bag like, well, this what black people do to themselves. We can stop these people from saying whatever they say about us if the ones who have the answers stop being quiet like the goddamn question. The language and tongue to every question is the answer. We are the answer. Us. We are the answers, and these questions is the future generation that's in front of us, and we just sitting there watching them be languageless. Like we not helping them. We not doing nothing for them. We telling them, go to Social Security, go put them on child support, go get EBT, go get Section 8. Instead of teaching them how to build credit, instead of teaching them how to get an LLC, instead of teaching them how to, come up with a business plan to get a business loan. You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying. We know how to do this stuff, but we refuse to give it to them. And I'm gonna tell you why we refuse to give it to them, because we done gave up on our motherfucking self, man. That's the truth.
Not speak on it from a different perspective because I think he kind of.
Yeah, young brother, come on, young brother, talk to us. We having a conversation. Come on.
So I think he kind of spoke on the question that you originally posed, as far as like what could. Well, when you asked him that, I think he was talking more so what you was talking about with the question. And as somebody that's younger, and as I'm looking around, I'm not gonna lie, I get it, but I don't. I kind of disagree
Come on.
because I feel like depending on this, I disagree depending on who we're talking about. If we're talking about people that have already made their decisions, like we already know, depending on what age group you're talking about, some people minds are made up. And I know some people don't like Dr. Umar and the things that he says and things of that nature, but that one particular uh university visit he did a couple years ago, he said it the wrong way, but I think it's a lot of credence in what he was saying when he said, uh, we got to give up on some of these people for good. I think he said it the wrong way, but I do think there's some credence in what he's saying, because there's some people where no matter what, we get on these panels every day, and how many times do we have to give, whether it's anecdotal experiences, whether it's stats and statistics, this, that, and the third, people still have their minds made up on the life that they choose to live. I think the purpose, and what I'm gonna say, and I'm gonna land it with this: the people that already have kids now, that's in between, like I said, before they even hit middle school, you got to start hitting them early on. So if they're already at a certain age and you don't let them kind of formulate in their mind whatever they choose, whatever they've came up with as far as life is concerned, you try to tell somebody that's my age at 25, 26 that the route that they're going is the wrong route. They're gonna give you they're gonna give you hell as far as trying to change their life around. Trust me, I've been trying to do it for years. So don't get me wrong, I'm not saying give up, but I'm saying at some point I think we do need to change the focus to the younger generation as far as pointing them in the right direction. Because like you said, if you're 40 or if you're in between the ages of 32 and older, trying to talk to somebody that's 26, 27, they life, they mind is made up. Talk to them kids that's 11, 12, 13 years old before they go down the wrong path. Because you don't get no second chances.
Can I
You
just
don't get no second chances.
touch on what Nine said?
Yeah,
When
yeah.
it comes to like the younger generation, I absolutely agree with that. I started off in my profession working with adolescents, and I didn't know that that was the route I wanted to take until I started it. And I fell in love with the field because there are so many troubled youth in the world that I think can really benefit from positive influences. And on top of it, their parents as well, having people help guide them, because sometimes having someone to help mediate is important. and I veered off and went into adults. I even considered working in like the adult jail system, like, but for some reason I kept going back to to youth. And I think a big part of it is because, like Nine said, when adults get to a certain age, it's not that adults can't change, but a lot of times adults have to change when they're ready to change. Oftentimes, I always say kids are very impressionable, and you can teach them things, you can rewire the brain. There's so many different things that you can do with kids. And I think it's so important to take care of the youth, but on top of it, their parents as well. Because I think a lot of parents are struggling because of the way society is right now, and they are giving up because it is exhausting. And so, yeah, I agree with him.
I like that. If I can jump in on this, I really have to just go back and just say I love the boldness, and I love how everybody's expressing themselves freely. I love that. I really want to just kind of like bring up the parent-child reversal. You know what I mean? Where a lot of children have.
Open, hold on 1 second. Please stop this.
Okay.
Please. We're at 73 people in here and we're only at 42,000. Let's try to get up to 70. If we can get 50, that's great. Thank you. Bye.
Bye. I love it. But yeah, the parent-child reversal is very real, right? And sometimes we see what we see, but we often don't ask the question about the greater story, right? Like what happened in their lifetime? What happened in their household? Where were their parents? Where were we don't stop and really ask the question, because there's a lot of trauma that we have experienced, right? There's this thing called generational or cellular trauma, right? And that simply means that you can live out the trauma of your grandparents and great grandparents and parents before that, right? Because there's trauma, it's trapped inside of us, right? So now my brother asked, can we fix it? Yeah, we can fix it, but at the same time, we have to get out of our ways, right? We heard it several times on the panel about people being set in their ways. Somebody said to me a long time ago, hey man, you need to learn to sit down with the elders, because that's where you get wisdom, man. Think about that. Okay. I heard people talking about, grandparents being cussed out, older people being cussed out, right? How often do you hear, we used to hear that 20, 30 years ago about a generation of people sitting down with the elders, sitting under the elders, right? So that they can be poured into, so that they can be taught. Well, what's missing? Well, that teaching is missing, right? The willingness is missing, right? If you want to change something, you have to be willing to do it. You have to be willing, right? And guess what? A lot of people are not willing because a lot of people are afraid to sit at the table with their inner child, right? A lot of people will not sit at the table and deal with their issues so that they can change, so that they can grow, right? So yeah, it's on us, but at the same time, we have to be the ones to be the example, right? We have to look at that. So when we start looking at this stuff, and it's scary now. Like when I look around now, it's almost scary to look around and realize what's happening around us. It's almost scary, right? Because now, where are the teachers? And if anybody is teaching, who's listening, right? A lot of people are talking about change. We're talking about change. We want change, but not a lot of people are willing to go through the process and what's necessary to get to that change. And I'll land at that.
Appreciate you, family. Strictly, you just came in. You want to speak?
Yeah, bro. I just wanted to get on real quick. But I want to hit the root of this, right? So I'm big into personal development and stuff like that, right? So first thing first, whenever you're trying to realize the reason for a problem, you got to get to the why, right? So if we're saying we failed our kids, why or how, right? So once you break that down, the root cause, a lot of it is just people having kids when they're not ready, right? So that's the first problem. Back in the day, when people were having kids, they were married, right? I posted the statistic. It was 20%, 22% back in the day of black kids were born out of wedlock. That percentage has now changed to 70%, right? So a lot of the issues, you can clearly see it is right there. Now, yes, systematically, they pulled the black man from the house, whatever, the drugs, whatever. But let's start there. Let's start back. Let's get back to having kids out of marriage, right? Once we're married, because then that way there's structure. Without structure, there's nothing, right? How you build the house without the structure, without a strong foundation? You just having kids, of course. You're just having kids, right? Like it's a game, right? But when you have the structure, when you have a foundation, when you're doing things with intent, intentionally, that's when we'll start to make different things happen. And I land.
Thank you. Thank you. Come on, Miss Pickme.
Can I get the? Where's the clapping? Come on, host.
I've been trying to all day. This thing is over here doing the thing. Hold on.
Because he said something. Yeah.
This for everybody because they got a lot of good energy and it's a lot of accountability here. So these conversations need to be had. People be listening. You never know what somebody going through. They may want to come to the stage, scared to speak in the comments, but you might be vicariously speaking for them. Come on, Miss Pickme, you were speaking. Come on, sister.
The only thing I was getting ready to say is strictly love that you mentioned that. And it sounds like you're a younger man. And I'm curious and want to hear from is it Nick, me, and Council and Open. You guys seem to be younger, and I love hearing.
Yeah, come on, Council.
I love to hear from you.
Kind of down, sister.
I'm down.
I'm younger. I'm 40, so I'm not that much younger. But
Okay. I'm sorry.
you don't look older than me. To be fair, I don't know what age you are. I would.
Okay, that's okay. I just
wouldn't be
wanted
able to
to know
guess.
why are we not marrying? Why, as youngsters, you guys are
Personally,
youngsters. Why are you not asking women to marry you instead of why is the younger generation not marrying?
We want to let Nick.
I'm a woman. I'm a woman, but I can answer.
No. I only want to hear from the young men. I'm sorry, Council.
All right, sorry. No, you're all right, sweetheart.
Next, Strictly and Open.
So the way I kind of look at it, it might not I ain't gonna necessarily say ruffle feathers. Y'all can hear me because I got red bars by my name.
Good. Speak your piece, brother. Come on, you good.
But the way I kind of look at not marrying, the way I kind of look at it, for one, I can only speak for myself. And I joined the military at 17 years old. So got my parental consent, dipped out, did my thing. I necessarily never looked at there's a big stigma around military men and how they get into the military and they're quick to marry off for the benefits and this, that, and the third. But then when I looked at the monetary part of it, man, you only get an extra $300. That wasn't enough for me to just go out and seek anybody. So that's number one. Number two, the way I kind of looked at it, I feel like when I got to I'm from a small town. So when I got to Las Vegas, and started dibbling and dabbling. Let's be for real. I mean, if I'm holding myself accountable, I feel a victim to the temptation of dealing with multiple women. Like I've always had, I don't know what it feels like to be rejected. I don't know what it feels like to have a roster. I've all lived that life. So, and
You breaking up, young brother. You breaking up, young brother. You there? You going in and out on us. You in the matrix.
y'all can hear me?
We hear you now, but you kind of. I think you might be going back. Come on.
So, the way I know, you looked,
You're in the matrix, brother. It happens sometimes. Young brother, you there?
yeah, I'm here, but I don't know if my phone going in and out.
Nah, you coming? Come on.
Yeah, so I say that to say pretty much the way I looked at marriage, I necessarily I didn't, and I asked Rennie this the other day. I don't know if I'm operating out of fear or if I'm operating out of consciousness. I mean, not consciousness, but what's the word I'm looking for? You know, when there's a wet floor sign on the ground or whatever, or whether I'm just being, yeah, if I'm being cautious about it, especially like I said, when you have social media, when you looking at the way people talk about it, like it's just a piece of paper. I didn't have women say, yo, I don't care what type of relationship we got, you're going on child support. When you just hear certain things, I'm not jumping the gun and finna marry anybody that's just right in front of my face because I feel like I have to.
Wow, you paying attention, young brother. That's a good thing.
Period, point blank. Trust
That
me,
means
I
you
didn't, and
care about the
I'm
decisions you gonna make. That's a good thing, young man.
in period, point blank, and I'm gonna end it with this. And I'm not one of these. I'm not one of these men that's gonna say that I've been the cheater, and I've also been the person that's been cheated on. I done been the rabbit with the pew pew. I've also had it turn back around on me. And at the same time, the way I kind of look at it is, regardless of how I kind of want to go about it, I've always been marriage minded, and I've always wanted kids. My number one fear is leaving this world without any kids. But I'd be damned if I sit here and just put a ring on anybody just to fulfill whatever I want to in my life, just to say that I did it. I don't care. Take it or leave it.
Good perspective.
Can open your opinion.
Come on, open. You there?
All right. Well, I actually been married before. I was actually married for 15 years. I was in that relationship for 17 years. Yeah, I'm a little old. I'm a lot older than I look, but it's okay though. But as far as marriage now today, um, yeah, no disrespect to any like women on here, but like these women are about games these days. You know what I mean? And it's really for me. It's really hard to find an authentic person who is aware of themselves, who actually takes accountability for themselves. And the women who I've and I again, this goes back to my reflection for me is what am I attracting, right? What am I attracting? And that causes me to really go back and look at why am I attracting these women or these people in my life who who struggle with accountability, who struggle with ownership, who struggle with actually who struggle with actually moving outside of the masculine role and walking in that feminine energy. That's why I'm not married today because I struggle to find that.
Okay. I hear some accountability there. You wanted to say some, counsel? I think everybody spoke. Did they mispick me? Did all the fellas speak? Or we got somebody we missed?
One who mentioned about the marriage, so he definitely I wanted to hear from him.
Come on, Strictly, and then we'll go to counsel. Come on, Strictly.
Well, I mean, I definitely plan on getting married, but my problem is, so I'm the oldest, right? I got two little sisters and two little brothers. My oldest, my sister just graduated high school, and she had a prom date, whatever, you know.
I want to let everybody know we appreciate you, Miss Pickett. Thank you guys for everything. We appreciate you. Salute. We talk. Come on, brother. We're gonna end in probably the next 5 to 10 minutes. So I want to give you a chance to speak. Appreciate
And
everybody being here. Then we're gonna come back at 9:30. Come on, Strictly.
I asked her, about this young man, and I just wanted to know, like, hey, did this guy have a dad in his life? Does he have any male role models? So, that's my problem. Looking for the right caliber of woman, right? Because I'm not trying to raise a woman. I'm looking for someone who's already stable, already knows what it's like to have a man at a house, right? Already know what that looks like. It doesn't have to be communicated or taught, right? Because again, I have kids already, right? I'm the oldest. I have little sisters. I have siblings. I'm teaching them. I shouldn't have to teach a woman how to be a woman, and that's my problem.
Okay. Come on, Counsel.
With somebody in the comments saying that role models are important because my dad was my role model personally. I was the oldest, and I never got married. Unfortunately, my partner passed like 10 years ago. But the reason I'm not married is because I was taught like the look after the men, your dad, brother, whatever. And like my brother, he's 35 now. He's ready to propose to a lassie. And I'm terrified because I didn't feel like she's going to be able to do like what my mum was like. She's no like I walk into my brother's flat and it looks like a hangways went off. The place is an absolute tip, and it's me that's cleaning the place every day. So what is she doing? Where is she? That's what I want to know. And I'm ready to end up getting. But anyway, like I was saying, I just feel like that we need role models 100%, but it's trying to get the younger generation to listen. And what a gentleman said also was right. There's some of them that can't be helped. There's some of them that you've just got to leave them be because they're never going to listen. I'm not going to waste my time with somebody that's not even taking in what I'm trying to say to them. I mean, I've been through more than most, and I'm not going to go into it, but it's like I say, there's a lot of reasons why people didn't get married now because of what's happening. I feel like the younger generation, like another lady says, they are sitting smoking with their parents. They're sitting there getting mad with their parents. I've seen it with my own eyes. The council estate, the parents are partying, getting mad with it, and the kids are out in the garden drinking. The parents didn't care. Like they didn't care. There's no accountability whatsoever. Like these women will not admit when they're wrong. They'll not turn around and say I'm wrong. I need help. But personally, I think that it's never going to go back to how it was. It's too late. Too much time's
Problem
passed.
in your country too. Problem
You
in
kind
your
of low,
country
sister.
too.
You low.
Sorry.
No, I said, counsel. She has the
Sorry.
same problem in her country too. Is this a worldwide problem with women?
This why it's so
Yeah.
fascinating.
Honestly,
This is why I wanted them to speak because this
honestly,
fascinating.
it is. It's what. Sorry.
Come on.
It's a
But
worldwide
it's like, see the
problem.
council estate. The council estate is a bit like the projects. That's what a council estate is like. That's the only way I can describe it. So you can imagine and we have all races, and we all live together. We didn't. There's no separation. Like we just get on with it. Do you know what I mean? Like we're just sort of thrown together, and I think that's why Scotland is so diverse. But unfortunately, I've no hope for the future. See, to be honest, I don't even think there's any that we can save. It's so much as time has passed, and that's sad. I hate to say that, but anyone born after, I'm not talking about everyone, but the majority, a large majority of people born after the year 2000, just they're not interested. They didn't want to listen. They didn't want to. You can't reason with them. Like they just start laughing. So I'm not going to try and. It's really hard to try and help someone that's not listening. Do you know what I mean? Does that make sense? But I'll land my plane there unless anybody wants to ask anything else.
Thank you, counsel. I want to let Will, you want to speak before we in the room. We want to let you speak.
Yeah, I'll answer all three questions before it becomes an open panel. The first question is, if not, who's responsible? It's the men. I mean, nobody ever told you to leave your child. You can still raise your child from a different household. So I don't understand that. Did we fail our children? Yes. You failed your child by creating a child with the wrong man. You should have vetted that child, or you should have vetted yourself in order to or vetted that man in order to know that he is the right person for your child. You should have also got a ring before that child. So yes, you did fail your children. How do we fix it? Learn God. How about that? How about we go back into Jesus in church? So then we can understand what actually goes on and what should be the right dynamic for what goes on, whether or not you think it's misogyny or not, whatever you think it is. I don't understand it, to be honest, me personally. I mean, women are oppressed, women are oppressed, women are oppressed. That's what I hear. In the end of the day, we all know our roles. Women are supposed to be women, men are supposed to be men. We know that women are supposed to be nurturing. We're supposed to be going for other women. We're supposed to be meeting with other women in order to raise our child the best way possible. We know that we're supposed to secure, supposed to it sounds very bad when I say it, but servant our husband. We understand what that means. I mean, as long as our men are keeping up with that, like I said in my first statement, where men are responsible for that reason of why they're leaving their household. So we understand that we're not supposed to servant our men that are the correct men, the ones that follow the Bible or Quran or whatever you guys follow. I mean, that's up to you guys, but how do we fix it? Get back into the Bible. Read the damn Bible. Read the Bible, learn it, and understand it, and live by it. That's all I gotta say. I don't know how like straightforward else to say it besides that. I don't understand. I really don't.
Okay, we appreciate you coming. I go from 5:30 to 8 every day, and then I come back at 9:30. I never really usually do the same topic. It's always different topics because there's so much to talk about. So these topics deserve more time, but you know we only can fit so much in the time. But I want to say to Young Princess, I appreciate you being here. Everybody that came to the panel, we appreciate you. These conversations need to be had. I know a lot of people say that, you know, I'm tired of the over and over, but when you can't communicate maturely, you cannot get to the solution. But today, I think we did a lot of interacting in a proper way, not off the rails. So it was amazing. When we uploaded it, it'll be up the day after on YouTube. So if you want to check it out and get your perspective, you can. But it was a good balanced conversation. I'll be back at 9:30. You guys welcome to come back. The topics are different on wide scale based on what we talked about prior. And if Princess, you want to take us out, you can. If not, anybody else can take us out. Then I'll be back at 9:30 tonight.
Gonna say tough love. I don't know if it's common in the BLK community, but I do know from being in foster care and being placed with Polynesian parents, they are very big on tough love. You do something wrong, you get yelled at, they keep it straight, they don't sugarcoat nothing. So for me, I do think we could fix it if we bring back that tough love. It doesn't always have to be hitting our kids, but it 100% has to be, you did wrong, you don't get this. You did wrong, this goes away. And I have to land there. I think tough love really needs to be brought back because it shaped me completely. Like,
I agree with that. I honestly, sorry, I agree with that 100%. 100%. Personally, what helped me and what made me, and I know I'm a good person. I don't need anyone else to tell me. I know I'm my biggest fan. I'm the person that believes in me. But my dad sort of installed that into me. And the tough love did help. It was only when I done something wrong. So he was well within his rights. At the end of the day, I feel like, I'm not saying I'm blaming the men, but I feel like the men do need to help, and that's probably the only way that's going to bring it back somewhat. Because personally, there's no accountability. Like, kids can do what the hell they want now, and there's nothing happens. The parents are laughing along with it. Do you know what I mean? So that's what I feel like. There's no accountability, and personally, I think that the man definitely needs to be the head of the household, and the women just need to start piping down a bit and listening to them. I'll land it there. Sorry, guys. I'm a bit nervous.
What do you mean there's no accountability on whose part? The
For the
child,
kids, for
the
kids,
woman, the man?
the child and the women. The women that I see with the kids that are laughing along as their kids are like harassing people in the street. The women are laughing along, finding it funny, harassing old grandmas and that. You know, I just find that wild, weird behaviour. Anyone that would stand and allow that is just, it's, in my humble opinion, it's wrong. You know what I mean? But anybody's got any more questions? If not, I'll land it there.
See, I'd have to disagree. I'd say that any child, no matter the gender, whether it's a boy or girl, needs discipline because
I agree. I'm actually agreeing with that. That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
I agree with that. 100%. That's what I'm saying. Like the mothers where I live are laughing along rather than disciplining them. They're laughing along with it. Like they're laughing along with the joke. They're actually in on it. That's the crazy part for me. Do you know what I mean? But I agree with you, 100%.
So what do you mean by discipline? Like, how do you think
Discipline, like you do something wrong,
in this
you
world?
have to take accountability for it. Like if I done something wrong, I was grounded, or something would be
I know
taken
what
away, or
discipline
better
means.
still,
I'm saying,
right.
how would you take
So
out discipline? Like, would you just let the man handle it? Would you tell
I'll let the man
the
handle it,
husband how to
100%.
handle it, or
No,
like,
the
are
woman
you
just
thinking
lets the
of
man
what
handle it.
handle it?
They would let the man handle it.
I think it comes from both sides for both children, because if you look at it from a child standpoint, if the dad is always handling it, the child knows to be scared of that father or
About the
just
dad. I
listen to
know.
the father. But when the mom's not handling it, the child will more find like, oh, I can get away with things because mom's not going to do anything and dad's at work. So I'm going to do everything I can bad in the books.
I should have clarified there. Like my mother, what would happen was my mother would say, "Wait till your dad gets home." That would be enough for me to behave. That's all she would need to say. Wait till your father gets in. That was enough, and my mouth was shut for the rest of the day. So I didn't mean the mother just do absolutely nothing. What I mean is, the dad needs to be the head of the household. They need to know that their dad is the dad is the boss. In my opinion. At the end of the day,
I
that's.
don't disagree with you in that point. I think that the dad needs to be the head of household. I think they need to be like the disciplinary action. But at the
And do
same
you know?
time, I
Sorry.
don't think that my son should be scared of my dad
I
or
know
of
it helped
his
me. It
dad,
helped me.
of
I
my
liked it
husband.
because he was
I
very
don't
loving as a
think that
father as
should
well.
be a capability. I think that he should know that he's going to be disciplined by both of us no matter what happens. If he does wrong in our household, he's going to be disciplined no matter who it's from. But at the same time, I don't think that he should be scared of
Quick clout
his
round the back of
dad,
the neck
because
never hurt me.
at that same point that son is going to need to come to his dad for like some type of advice coming to like schmexual experience, or like coming to like treating women, or any type of way that would deal with sensitivity that a man needs to provide that a woman cannot. So I don't think that you would be scared of that, because I know how that plays out, where the boy is scared of their dad. So I would say
I would.
disciplinary actions can come from their mother. If you think it's wrong from their mother, that's the part that I do get mixed up with gender roles. I do understand that the man is supposed to take disciplinary actions, but at the same point, a woman is supposed to do more than just say, "Oh, let your dad handle it. Let the man handle
Nah,
it.
my
Let the
mum
dad
just
handle it." No,
she just
because
says wait till
he's
he gets
going to
in, and
come
that
to
was
you
enough.
with these things too.
I love the fact that I had boundaries because the boundaries made I knew where I stood. See, as
It
an
makes
adult,
it
it's so.
easier for your work. That's just
For
be
me
real.
personally, it made it easier as a child. I knew where I stood. I'm not
No,
talking about
it
being
does
an.
not make it easier, because
Well, for
when
me,
you
it
go
was
to your
easier.
dad and you say,
You gonna let
"Can
me
I
finish?
go
All right,
out
okay.
with my friends, my
Oh, okay.
girlfriends, no boys?" And you go up to your dad, you're going to say, "Ask your mom." So you
You're
go
not
up to
letting me
your mom
finish,
and
so
she's
there's
like,
no
"Ask
point in
your dad."
interacting with you any longer. If you're going to talk over me, it's fine.
No, you do not fear your children. You never fear your children. You should
No,
never
your
put fear
parents, you
into
mean?
your children.
The
Your
children should
children
be the
should
parents, you
never
mean?
be scared of you as a parent.
You said
I'm
that.
sorry, but if you do think that ideology, you do not need to have children.
I don't
Never
have
should
children.
you
I don't
have
want
children
children. I
if
don't
you
want
think they
children.
should
I
fear
don't want
you.
children. I'm not wanting children. Don't want children in this world. I wouldn't, you
No,
couldn't, I
you're
wouldn't.
not. You're not the one child in this world.
I says I've not got any children. I don't want children because of this
If you
world,
don't
the
want
way
children,
it's
don't
turned.
speak on children that you
I'm
hypothetically
talking
would
on my
have.
childhood as my father's relationship and how I
You
was
got it. We can't make.
disciplined.
That's anecdotally then, so you
Stop
can't speak
ranting.
on it.
Wow,
Okay,
I'm just.
so
I'm
what we
speaking
do?
on this.
there's both children or both parents in the house. There's both parents going to be in the house when I have my kids. So you can't speak on that anecdotally if you don't even have two parents in your house, nor would you even have children in the first place.
It's a thin line, and sometimes that's the only way people have to come from. But I mean, I have to end this because of the time.
You're right.
And I'll be back at 9:30. I really appreciate you guys' perspective. I'm sorry I had to stop.
No, you're right.
Different people up. No, you guys are. The reason for these conversations is so that we can try to engage to a point where we can come to a common ground where we have a better understanding. Because what I realize is certain people's households run differently, but it still could be considered successful depending on your relationship with these people and what you understand that they went through and things of that nature, which is okay. You know, but we living in a society now where so many things is disruptive, you know, it's going different ways. And people coming from all across the world. This person is from Scotland, right? You said? Council?
Yes.
I forgot my mic was off. Yes, Central Scotland. I'm literally 20 minutes from Glasgow. 20 minutes from Glasgow one way, 20 minutes from Edinburgh the other, and I'm directly central. Originally,
Right,
I didn't live where I was born, but I come from a small town called Falkirk.
Right.
So
we appreciate you being here, but that's what I'm saying, because just from all across the world with different upbringing, you know,
different upbringings, exactly.
And we found, excuse me?
Exactly, host. I appreciate you having me as well, and I appreciate everybody for their kind words. And
I really appreciate that.
Massive respect to each and every one of you, by the way.
Well, we appreciate you, Princess, being transparent strictly. So I got to end it. You know, I usually end it at 8 because I take an hour and a half to get ready for the 9:30. But we really appreciate the young people being here and different people from all across the world, because this is not a room. Us being older, we don't try to disconnect from the kids. And right now, the young kids come and the people want to, you know, ostracize the young kids. And then the young kids like, oh, they don't get it. They old. There's a disconnect. We don't try to create that. We want to try to balance together. So we appreciate you guys coming in. You just came in a little late. Well, if you came in a couple of hours ago, you'd have been able to just build a little more. But we appreciate you. And sometimes it do get a little rough, but we're going to appreciate you guys if you come back. I'll be here every day. You know, we be talking about a lot of different things. Lately, it's kind of been going off the rails because of the topics. But we're gonna be back at 9:30. You guys welcome to come back. It's gonna be a new topic, more off the deep end. We stay in there for like 3-4 hours. So we'll see you guys in a minute. Now, we do appreciate your insight, and we hope to have more young people come in and don't be afraid to come speak their piece. So I appreciate you.
Wait, you said you're gonna be back at 9:30 Eastern time or like Western time?
I'm sorry, I didn't disclose the time. Yeah, the time zones be all over the place. I'm central.
Where you at?
I'm in Chicago. It's central. So
okay, yeah. So like in an hour. It's 8:21 for you.
Right. So I'll be back at like 9:30, 9:40. You know, because I'm a little bit behind.
Okay, yeah.
We'll be back. And you guys welcome to come and talk your talk. So,
all right.
We'll see everybody later on, and I appreciate you all coming back.
Pastors lying to the public, they ain't got the truth in them. Lights out, gas off, bootless, this city pimping. Blocks on fire cause the homeowners broke as fuck. Taxes up, water bill higher than a semi truck.